Can mute it.
Welcome, everyone. We're back. It is another special edition of the GG Millions, episode 30 of season 2023. As always, big guests, big names, big prizes. Here's the guest, the man, the myth. Matthew Salsberg is in the building. Matt, how are you?
Hey, Jeff, I'm good, thanks.
Well, if those don't know Matt, you should. I mean, you can take a look there at his results. He actually did win the WPT Player of the Year in 2013, and he is again not a full-time professional player, but definitely knows his way around the table. Look forward to catching up, and has a lot of other accolades which we will mention throughout the show. But Matt, tell me, where are you? What's going on? You've been playing a lot of poker. I know I just saw a deep run NAPT getting 11th. So are you playing a lot, a little? What's your poker these days?
I had been playing a little for a couple of years during the pandemic. I didn't really play at all, but then I started playing more this summer. I was in Vegas for the World Series, and at least like the last month of the World Series, and had a deep run in the main, which was fun. Kind of got my poker bug going again, and then so then I've been playing since. A couple trips to Vegas. Went to NAPT this week, which was a great venue, and that was fun. And I don't know. I chopped a tournament at Sequan, their MSPT main, about 6 weeks ago. So that was cool. So
I love it. I love it. You're in the mix. You're ready. And this is, you've seen the GG Millions before. This is the big boys. This is the real deal. These guys can battle, and we're going to take a look at who we have today as a look at the leaderboard for the GG Million rankings for the year. And it is a stacked final table. Some of these guys, again, I know you're not playing as much or as much online, but you do recognize, of course, Benjamin Rolle, who is the founder creator of Raise Your Edge, good buddy of mine, great player. And of course, Bert Stevens. How can you not talk about the guy that just won like 2.7 million on GG, one streaming on Twitch, absolute legend. Everyone knows this man. He is back at another final table, just still hungry after hitting that big score. You'd think maybe just take a break and go enjoy it, but no, he's back battling here with another final table. Juan Pardo Dominguez, David Yan, who is, as you saw, the number one player in the leaderboard, I believe already 3 titles in 2023 out of 30 times playing, and pretty impressive. And again, look at this lead today from my man right here. I'm not familiar with, but 160 big blinds. That might be a record over double second with 9 remaining. So we're going to dive in, see who's going to beat the best. And Matt, anyone here that you've played with or are you familiar with out of these players?
I mean, I'm familiar with Yan. He's probably the only one I've really played with, I'd say. I think these guys are all just like online players or Europeans. For the most part. So I don't really know. No, I don't really know their games. So I've watched your stream though, so I've seen Bird Stevens and Ben CB play, but otherwise not too familiar.
All right, cool. Well, that'll make it more fun. We'll do a little snake draft if you're up for it. We can wager a dinner and have a good time if you're up for that. I'll let you choose red or black to start, and you've seen it, right? We go for, if you get the first color right, you get to choose if you want to go first or second. If you go first, you get first pick. If you go second, you get second and third, and then we rotate. So a little strategy there. I'll let you pick the color, and then you can, whoever wins that gets to decide if they want to go first or take second and third, as we do pick up the action, ace 10, jack 7, blind on blind here with Juan Pardo Dominguez. But I'll let you choose next flop, Matt, red or black.
I will choose black.
Okay, so I have red next flop, and we are going to be underway here. As we mentioned, some of the bigger names in poker. It's always fun to watch this, and quite a stack. I have not seen, I've done a lot of shows now, I have not seen someone with 5.5 million at this juncture with 9 left, and you can see he's got double second. So pretty big flip, I'd say, here we're going to have for this red or black to get it going, as ace 10 does get to showdown, takes it down. Nice hand from Tim, and we will pick up with David Yan under the gun. And another familiar face. This player I've seen a fair amount. Tough spot here, 7. Do you like opening, Matt, or folding based on the ICM and position?
Is there a way I could see quickly how many bigs he has?
Let's see. So 35K. He's got like what, under 30. So 700 would be 20, 1,000,005. Yeah, about 30.
I like the fold. It's a tough spot. I mean, I would open probably, but at a final table, I guess, like folding is. These guys have like charts probably down pat.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ever folding 7s with like 30 bigs.
It does hurt. It doesn't feel right, but it would have. He did save some chips here because he would have gone.
Yeah.
Chip leader might have been interested, and then certainly the kings off the short stack was going to be. He would have been hearing from. So he does get out of the way. Now see Ben.
Let's see what Ben does. See, Ben opens on a shorter stack with sevens, but
yeah, almost the exact same. Right, he's under the gun +1. So same situation. Why poker is so fun? There's not just one way to play. Also can depend on where other players are positioned, right, versus the chip leader. And there is some other considerations in there, but we do see Ben. Timing is very important in life, Matt. And that was that time he opens and gets it through. So nice pickup from Ben. Couple big pairs being handed out here. And wow, I mean, this is a good spot for Waden. We haven't had a flop. Is that right? Is that what happened? We're still red or black. We're waiting for a flop. So I think we're gonna probably see one here. Either
I think we'll see an all in probably.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
Okay, the flop is black. You get first pick, Matt.
All right. Well, I guess I'd have to be a fish if I didn't take the chip leader.
That it feels that way, although he is going to potentially lose 700,000 this hand, right? I don't see a way out with the jacks, the queens on this.
I know, but he still has like so many bigs that it's like
you're right.
He's like over double Yan. So, all right, I'll take. I can't even see his name exactly; it's too small on my screen. But
we'll give you the chip leader. It's Ted Weena Slousby. That is the Ted Weena. Is that Slousby from? Looks like Mexico. So you got that. I will happily get David Yan, and I'm gonna go with Ben. I just gotta get him. I gotta go Ben Raleigh there. I'm gonna take my man from Razor Edge.
All right, I'll then take Bert just because he can spin and he's Bert.
All right, so you get Bert. I'll take one part of Dominguez.
Okay.
You just go 1-1 the rest of the way.
Is that his real name, Tim Duncan, or is that a screen name?
I think that's a screen name, but that's a creative way to spell Tim Duncan, and it is. Wow, I mean, your man just folded jacks there. Great fold. He doesn't have a spade. The guy could have ace king, ace queen of spades. He does find a fold. Pretty impressive laydown considering he's covering and that spot.
That was a really big fold. Really smart fold.
Wow. Really, definitely maybe a read, maybe a bit of experience playing with the player, but that for sure is not going to see that every day, especially when you can really afford it, right? And that player could be a little desperate at one of the shorter stacks. So
that's a hard fold to make, but I guess when you have all the chips, you don't want to risk, punting them off. And jacks is pretty marginal sometimes, like as the action happens. So
I think also to consider there with the player with 236,000, so short that he probably feels that Wayland's going to be a little tighter, right? Maybe queen,
exactly. That's the thing.
Check back.
He knows that there's so many shorter stacks that.
Really well done there. Sorry, I got one. You said you're taking Tim?
I'll take Tim Duncan just because I know the basketball player.
Okay, deal. That's legit. And then I will take Marcus Ladev there, and then I'll give you the last two because I guess you got Waden, right? Wayland's got 1.3, and then the short stack. I'm throw that in there for good measure on that. So that's our lineups. If my players win, it's going to be $100 GG ticket. If Matt's win, it'll be 50. We also do have the hands up promo. I believe that should be pinned in the YouTube chat where you can guess the winning hand. If you hit it, it's a progressive jackpot. That is, you have to get the right suits though, Matt. If you want to take a crack at it today, what you think the winning? Oh, we got an all in though. Hold that. Jack 10, ace 9, short stack, looking good to double here. If he can fade the river,
he faded.
He does do that. So again, Juan going to take a little hit. Short stack is back in the mix, and we are still 9-handed. So there is. Let's see. Yeah, you got that. So 50 or 100. I'm going to check on the hands up. If we have that promo as normal, it's a progressive jackpot. But it hit a couple weeks ago. And if you want to guess the hand anyway for fun, what do you think the winning hand today is, Matt? It's not hard. You got to get the exact suits.
King of spades, 7 of spades.
King of spades, 7 of spades. I'm going to say 6 of hearts, 6 of diamonds. Those are our guesses. I don't see it pinned in the YouTube chat, so I will check. I'm gonna hit the thumbs up myself. That will be the part of the win. We're just all in again. King, queen, king, 9. The short stack trying to parlay it.
He's got a sweat now. He's got some hope.
Got a little bit of hope, and it is going. Oh,
Oh,
No,
ooh,
no.
yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
no, Matt, not like this. I mean, you might have to cancel your plans. Just like when you
Wow.
think it's going to be a runaway, the chip leader is going to win everything. It's going to be over in 30 minutes. We got all of a sudden no one super short, double ups all over the place, whole new game happening right now. So and that was your guy. I just threw him in out of good faith, and now he's got $1 million. He's in the mix. So you got a little advantage on me here. I was trying to just give a generous little nod, and it's already become powerful. So hey, and now he's got a good spot again, man. This is he's just going for it. He's attacking Bert. He knows ace jack off. It's going to be good sometimes. He does find out, picks it up, and we got ourselves a ball game here. So yeah, I mean, couple interesting hands so far. The sevens, I thought that was interesting to see the difference in the fold and the
Yeah, this is an interesting open here. I guess you have to open. See the shortest? Yeah, he's the short. No, he's second shortest. So this is a good pressure spot on the button, but he also respected the open.
Nice. Look at it. The eights fold there from the man.
Yeah, that's like it was a good pressure spot with the eights to put the open to the test, but I guess he respected the open.
Yeah, under the gun, giving him some credit for sure. And now we see the ace five suited open. Eight's a little different too, a little different on positions, but again, the eights fold. I mean, guess at home, if you're watching, some notes that stand out today are those pairs, those sevens, eights, final tables.
Nah,
Eights would have
doubled up probably if he flatted.
Yeah, would have won, would have got some chips for sure with bottom
chips.
set.
Yeah, I don't know about
top
double
pair.
up.
And David Yan, he is your leader of the GGMillion on the ranking in terms of earnings this year. Titles, he is on absolute wildfire. I had to actually get a stat correct at the beginning, a stat check, I should say, because, Matt, if you see our notes, it says that he has 3 titles in season 2023, the current one, and I believe 4 final tables with 13 of 13 appearances and cashes, which, if that's true, that is absolutely scary. I had to ask them to double check that, because that seemed, but he is also number 1 on the leaderboard, right? So it's definitely possible. He's got the most earnings, and usually GG's on point with their notes and stats. So we're going to run with that for now, as we do see a all in. Look at this, man. Matt, what's going on? 8-10 off, just ripping it on Bert. And Bert, a man that is not afraid, a man that is paid, a man that streams. He's got many talents. He has a farm, and he is not afraid. I'll tell you what, but this is an amazing spot right here to shove. King 9 suited, so close. He calls.
I knew it. I thought he was going to call.
Yeah, I don't think Juan was factoring in that he just scored for 3 million online, but King 9, 10-8, drawing dead on the turn. Bert will double up, and Juan is now short stack with 300,000. But again, can't count him out. One of the world's best players as well. He is going to be fighting, and he says no ICM for me. That's what we were saying out loud. That's just a brutally honest statement. He is saying, don't try to run ICM over for me, brother. I am not afraid. All right, I'm going to click the hands up, Matt. If you want to enter your word, you got to click the link if you want it. It's in the YouTube chat. I'm going to put my guess in. 6 of hearts, 6 of diamonds. It's a jackpot progressive million that goes up every week. 6 of hearts, 6 of diamonds. My official guess is in there on the Reddit forum there, if that YouTube link is there. And we are underway. And look at this board. Ace, queen, ace, king suited. Has got a lot of potential. Ace queen suited in the lead, though. Pretty dynamic board here. 2-tone flush draw, straights possible everywhere.
Did it just go raise call pre? Was that?
Yeah, actually, I believe it was open, and they might have been a small 3-bet to get 440 in the middle, right? Because it's 35K big blind. He opened, and then I think he did 3-bet and he called, I believe. You might be right. I'm just trying to. I was on the action. I'm trying to see the 440 in the middle. Yeah, I think it was a small 3-bet.
Must have been a 3-bet and appeal, yeah.
And what a frustrating spot. What a good situation. Ace king suited to ace queen suited, and you see the
the needle showing the ace of hearts.
That's actually a pretty, that show definitely does open up some opportunity for there were possible bluffs. He did have top pair, top kicker. Some good discipline today, Matt. I will say that normally we see people, running the table, going wild. This is there's been some very. Yeah, Whalen is kind of, he played that hand well. He 3-bet pre, and then he flopped the straight
straight draw, flush draw, not flush draw, and just checked it back both streets. So he saw his equity, but he didn't get there. But he would have, you know, he was up
For
against
sure.
ace queen, so probably saved himself.
Yeah, this is a spot where I think the chip leader, we did see him fold jacks. I think he's going to go to town here. He's got the gut shot, backdoor flush draw, can put a lot of pressure on 7x, 3x in here. And I think there's going to be a lot of times where he's going to continue unloading the clip. Kings, an ace would be problematic, right? If he bets and then ace peels, he may tell the story there and run into it. The king, this is the one we mentioned. I think likely going to see him go for it here, but we'll see the good discipline last time with jacks where he got away from queens on a very innocuous board. So let's see if he can.
And he also folded 8-2 to an open, so he definitely doesn't want to spew his chips.
But I'm saying this situation though favors him so much where the player calls the flop and now the king turns. He has the ace kings. He has the bigger cards here.
Major advantage here for sure.
Yeah. And this is what the 7 and the 3x, you get to put so much pressure. Even queen, what are you doing with queen 8, queen 9? You know, it's like you're just basically saying, I'm ready to call off my life. Excellent play. And I think we're getting to see the class of our chip leader today, who has made great folds and then barreled in some interesting spots too. So really well played hand there, and nothing much you can do there with the 7. Nice play. And even getting applause from Tim. I think players know something could be up there, and they're giving the man the credit here. He is on a run, and not familiar with this player either, our chip leader. I have not seen him before. Season 2, he's played so far. He's had 12 appearances in season 3 with 4 cashes. So yeah, a little less familiar with him. 7-8 suited, jack 7 off. Always interesting to see the defend, how wide players defend. We see some pretty interesting big blind play. Some different thoughts when closing the action. You know, some light 3 bets, some just folds, and this is also kind of a tricky one, right? And look at this, taking the 3-bet and going for it here. And man, what a treat! What a treat! I don't even feel like this is work. I love watching these final tables. Some of the best in the world, really, every week. I mean, there's some big names, and then even some of the guys we're less familiar with making advanced and aggressive maneuvers, and you get to see a little of everything. All right, I gotta ask you, Matt, your experience with weeds, with television, and with the new show on GG. What are your thoughts on the show? Because I think you have gotten to check out some of it, right?
Yeah, I checked out some of it. I was playing all weekend, and so I was watching it like kind of before I went to bed, and then I didn't get to finish it, but I was enjoying it. I thought it was a fun, like it gave me some chills. You know, they really made it feel like, you know, a network reality show.
Yep.
Kind of, and I think that sort of made it exciting, and it looks fun. I'm excited to check it out.
Yeah, it's a game of gold, of course. GG doing it, really unbelievable production value, and I believe the same either. Oh wow! All right, here we go. Let's take a look. A7, King Jack suited, both having diamonds. A7, Wampar Domingos in the lead, and that is a pretty grim spot. Going to turn dead the turn. A king does arrive in the river, not enough, and we are going to see again yet another double up. But yeah, game of gold. I mean, high production value. It does give you that sort of that really high. I don't know how you'd compare it to what would you compare that to what other like reality show that you've seen?
Bachelor.
Bachelor.
Honestly, I don't watch reality TV very often, so it's hard to. No, but just I guess I don't know the vibe of it and the maybe Survivor.
Yeah.
A little bit. I used to watch that back in the day.
Yeah, I think that's me as well. I don't watch any reality TV, but I have seen Survivor and kind of Big Brother. I guess more like Survivor because you kind of get the team and then the individual aspect as well. Very cool. Squid Game, right? Basically Squid Game as well.
Yeah.
Some vibes there. But very cool. I haven't seen anyone say negative things about it. Everyone seems to love the show and think they might be onto something there. I also like the four-handed format of like it's like different, right? People don't really play much four-handed. It's fun. It's fast. You can't really hide. I like that too. So very creative. Yeah, this is King Jack suited for David. Going to open up. Really no customers here. Would you be interested in a show like that? Does something like that appeal to you? Maybe
Be
Game
a
of Golden
contestant or to be behind the scenes of it?
both.
Yeah, sure. Being a contestant could be fun. I mean, I don't think I've ever been a contestant on a show. Uh, Poker Night in America I played, but
Yeah.
I was on Love Connection actually. Did you ever see that dating show?
No, no. Tell me, how was that?
It was back like in like the late 90s. They rebooted the show. I wasn't on the original. I'm not that old. I did become a senior, but I'm not that old. But in the late 90s, when I was in my late 20s, they rebooted the show. And for shits and giggles, I went down and just kind of, I didn't even think I was going to be on the show. They actually taped you without your knowledge in your interview room. And
Oh
then
wow.
next thing you know, I was watching it one day and I saw myself as a contestant that the girl lets the audience pick one of three guys for them to decide, and then she's supposed to go out with them, and the audience picked me, but the girl completely never called me and just showered it.
I've not seen that. What year was this?
Like 99, maybe 2000.
Oh
Uh,
wow. Okay.
it was
Oh, interesting.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, it was on in the background one day. I was like at home writing some stuff, and I just happened to see, and here's Matt. And then I look up and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm on TV, and I had no idea how, because they didn't warn me. They didn't tell me that I was being filmed in the interview. So they were a little sneaky with it. I guess I must have
Wow.
signed a waiver saying that they had permission to use me, but that was pretty funny.
We are. That's a pretty great. That's got to be that must have jumped out of your chair. That's got to be quite the experience to not know and then see that. But we are in a pot here with King 10 and 6. Is David gonna think he has the best hand a fair amount of the time? As I believe check on the flop. Tim doing a little sneaky pot control deception, and now board gets a little scarier for the big blind range as the 7 comes. See if he's gonna just call or raise. Call makes sense, right? He does lose. He's drawing dead to some hands and pretty ahead of others like this one. And he has got the winner on the river. David can't love that card when called. He does have a interesting
Easy for him
bluff
to get away.
consideration though, right? He has a heart and he could have like 6-9. He could have, some straight hands where even an ace X that calls might not love a huge bet. But let's see. I mean, at the same token, he is deciding to slow down. And Tim has a lot of showdown value here. I can't imagine betting.
Yeah.
So he does win it. Hope you're enjoying. Let us know where you're watching from in the world. This is, again, episode 30, season 2023. GG Millions. We are going to play to a winner.
This is going to be interesting.
Sunday.
Wayland's been playing pretty tight. I wonder what he's going to do here. Okay, just call.
Matt, take a look at Discord if you can, if you got that up. I don't know if you have it. I think you just have it on your phone. Guys, we are going to play to a winner. And again, we have giveaways. So you are going to want to stay tuned because we've got the hands up. We've got the bonus. I think I have a tweet out as well. I'm going to double check, but I know the time, the daylight savings reminder, it's going to be 1:45 Eastern every week. No longer 2:45 because of daylight savings. So we are, again, in a spot where ace queen, man, that is my nemesis hand. It's hard to play, but it is out flopped ace king a few times here today. Thus far, 2 for 2 in pivotal spots, and Wayland is going to get the win there. Important pot, could have really gone a different direction, ace high or some other boards, but does pick it up. And we're still 9-handed, Matt. No one wants to go home today. It's one of those days. No one is ready to go. They're having a good time. Yeah, I don't know. The reality TV thing, it's tough. I've thought about like some stuff. I mean, I think it would be fun, maybe like a Amazing Race or those type of shows, but it's just also such a huge commitment. Like it's like it's not just like you do it for. It's like months of being away, and obviously there's prizes and it's exciting, but I don't know. I'm not sure. The Game of Gold seems cool. I don't think that was it's not like such a long away, and yeah, it's very cool. The poker world seems captivated by it. I haven't seen any negative feedback yet, and I'm trying to. I've only seen the first episode. I want to watch the others and not get spoilers and stuff, but it does seem very cool. So I'm looking forward to. Do you find yourself with your background with with weeds and how you're so immersed in this type of creativity? Do you find yourself like critiquing or always saying I would do this differently, or how do you find your viewing experience?
Not with reality shows, because it's so different from scripted. But with scripted shows, yeah, I actually have a hard time even watching scripted shows because it feels like either I'm working or I'm watching somebody doing a better job than what I would have done. So it gives you anxiety and stress. So that's why I like poker, is to just like, poker's like the one activity where I can like completely shut my brain off from the other side of my life and
sure.
not really think much about it. So,
well, no shutting the brain off here. This is a mystery hand, and we're gonna play it. You're gonna play it. What do we got? Ace Jack open. I think we're pretty aligned. What we'll let you take over from here in this pot.
Okay. Well, we see Ace Jack open. So we don't know what's. I'm guessing.
You're just gonna play Ace Jack. Yeah, you'll play it versus the player that.
All right, so this guy's like, what, 22 bigs? Flatting on the button. Okay, so he's probably in the maybe mid-high pair range, like 8s, 9s, king, queen suited, 20 bigs. They're two shorter stacks, or one shorter stack only, really.
So I'll tell you, these guys have a lot of experience with each other, battle regularly. They both stream. Ben streams as well on Twitch, and again, no Brazilian flag today. We almost always have Brazil flag today. The Austrian, we have Brazil and Austria flags. There's 2 Austrian flags, and they're tangling right now. Ace on the turn, check flop. Matt, what do you like here with the Ace Jack?
I mean, I like a bet here with it. Well, I guess I'm wrong because this guy's knows what to do in every situation perfectly, but I would like a bet just because I think he could have ace queen a lot and you get some value.
Yeah, ace queen definitely a very possible hand. Ace queen off, or just
ace 10 or ace 10 suited, like so, but he also could have king queen sometimes, so check calling isn't the worst.
He does check the river. I mean, very unlikely any flushes available for Ben. He's got the jack of spades, so it's sort of like king queen.
It might be a check fold if he bets the river, but
you'd have to really put him on king queen. I mean, you're pretty high up in the range, top 2, like you mentioned, ace 10 suited. There's like 8s, and I guess he could have 9s, 10s, right? Those are hands he would flat. You block jacks.
I mean, only hand. I think he has king queen or ace 10 suited would be my guess. And if he's going for value with ace 10 because he thinks maybe ace queen, ace king might call him. But I feel like king queen makes more sense to me here. He may check back ace 10.
Yeah, really the question is, does he value bet ace queen? I think is that what is he doing with ace queen in this particular line?
I don't know if he value bets it. I think it's
I don't either. This is a very interesting hand. Great selection. Our first mystery hand of the day. To the boys in Korea, appreciate that. The nice hand. My mind spin. What are you doing? Call or fold quick before you ask. So what do you?
I think. Well, all right.
Makes sense. I think you're too high up in the range. You got the spades are unlikely, but when you have that jack of spades, you take those out the door. I think he might have been thinking of. I don't think he was going to fold, but then raise. So, he ultimately said that's just the best play, call. And they both had ace jack. So nice hand, no blood there as David gets back to work, queen 10 suited.
It's actually a weirdly tough call with ace jack there against good players. He's probably not, I mean, he has like no bluffs probably.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough spot. Definitely. I think it was very, very close, whether he's good or not. He's maybe randomizing even what to do. And Ben, though, did sussed out that ace jack was a value bet, and he did put one in and got called, and they chopped. So, again, no harm, no foul, as ace 5 suited. More fun to 3-bet than open, but also opening is Definitely an opening hand most of the time. He goes for a min raise off his 25 big blinds and a welcome sight for Ben with ace king offsuit.
Yeah, this it's an interesting spot because I wonder if he's going to want to get it in here. Ace 5 suited is a bluff, but
Yeah, some of the considerations when you're going for the 4-bet is the hand. Like this definitely is one of the better 4-bet bluff spots, right? You're 30% roughly against anything but aces. If you get called, you're going to take down a lot. You start then thinking, is a player capable? Benjamin Raleigh, that's Ben CB,
right.
raise your edge. Yes, capable. So you start thinking, there it is. He is going to step into it. And Ben, good news, way ahead. Bad news, it's on the line, right? This is for a massive spot here as the wheel draw comes in, still a favorite. Going to the river, 84% has to fade. I don't want to say it out loud, but you guys know what it is at home, and he can do it. Ben can do it. Ace king, clean, nice hand, doubles up, and that is going to leave our guy there from Estonia, I believe, with a very fragile 2 big blind stack with the king jack now and going to be in here going for it. So tough spot, and Ben very healthy now at 2 million. And how familiar are 2 blind poker, Matt? I mean, this is it looks like a clear get in, but you're going to go multi-way. You do have king jack. I mean, you can't be really that selective here.
I think you have to go. I think you have to go with it. You're just like, I don't know. I mean, maybe I guess because it's a 10K that you could somehow survive maybe a miracle pay jump, but I doubt these guys are too good where nobody's going to go broke before this guy. I don't think so.
Yeah, unless there's like a crazy cooler, or then you just get blinded down. You're in the big blind with like 1 blind and a few hands, and now here we go. He gets some. Honestly, the matchup here, it's pretty good equity.
King It is actually really good. He might get deuce is going to call also. So
wow, look at that. Just like magic. What's the theme of the day? No one wants to go, but hey, a lot of cards still. Deuces available, 5s.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to get a dirty river with the king jack. I have a strange feeling that like a 5 or a deuce is just going to somehow
arrive. Yeah. Well, the ace queen doing him a favor, going to knock out a big part of the equity of 4 outs. He's going to clear out.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, ace queen is definitely giving him some protection here.
Yeah, David recognizing he's not in about team poker. He's ready to win the pot himself. King jack, and it would have to be really dirty. That would be something miraculously unspecial if it went runner, and it is not. Just pure king jack boat up, and then we're 9-handed. That is I'm just gonna make voice clip that. We are still 9-handed. No one has been knocked out. There have been plenty of opportunities, and it is still going here as we see the 3s off that short stack with a lot of players behind. Does not shove. Would have got it through, interestingly enough, but does pass. I guess he does have like 10 blinds, so he's okay. And the chip leader, Queen Deuce. This is my guy. This is well, he's your guy today, but I really like his game. That Jack's fold was so impressive. The 5-6 barrel, on the gut shot when the king turned, he's really showed us a full range of capabilities today.
What's the flag? Is that Mexico?
I believe Mexico. Could be someone that has relocated. A lot of times the Austrian flags as well are players in Europe and places that they have to either move to, in Mexico as well. See a lot of players in the US that relocate, get set up correctly and go down and do that. So I think Mexico. Again, not familiar with this player. I haven't seen his game, but I like it. I'm a fan. I think he's playing really well. Blind on blind. 2 Titans. See Bert small blind, big blind game. Put in the work. He knows what to do. And he is considering the limp or fold, I guess. Does fold. Kind of. I think there. How would you describe small blind, big blind? I do feel like there's a pretty big part of respect built into that, because like the book, you look at the charts, like you're supposed to limp or do this, but I do feel a lot of the time, of course, stack dependent, and then also you kind of look at the.
I think it's also very player dependent. I think Bert thinks David is so good
exactly.
That he's got an unfortunate seat at the table, having David on his left and having him, well covered, that he probably just wants to not have to play guesswork with somebody who's going to play pretty perfect post flop.
And Matt, can you tell us a bit about your background with weeds and what, again, those that are joining us now. Matt did win the WPT Player of the Year in 2013, which is extremely impressive considering it's not his main profession. And could you maybe let us know, like, what specifically on weeds, like what was the involvement in your role within weeds?
Well, I was a writer producer on weeds. I started, writing and producing in TV is essentially the same thing most of the time. When you see executive producer on TV, although it's changed in the last decade, but Weeds was started from 2005 through 2012. Most of the time, executive producers, supervising producers, co-producers, those are just writers, and kind of sort of your seniority level depending on the title and years of experience. So uh, I started off as a producer level writer, but then I was an executive producer by the last several seasons, and so I was one of three people who was there the entire run of the show as a writer. The creator of the show, Genji Cohan, and the co-executive producer, Roberto Benabid. So it was kind of the three of us. Even though it's Genji's show, I was in the editing room as well for every episode, and you break your stories as a group with a team of writers, and then everybody writes a draft, but then the head writer kind of takes over the draft and does rewrites on the show. And but you're there through, like, when I write an episode, I cast the episode, I produce it. You're on set usually, producing the episode, seeing it through the end till editing and through production is often the case. So I was probably a little more active in the early seasons of the show, mentally and creatively, I would say.
Were you able to play poker during a lot more during this time period? Did you get away or not much? And because it's interesting, you said till 2012, and then you won Player of the Year in 2013. Obviously, you couldn't like grind and go around and play all the tournaments.
I couldn't ever play the main event until in 2011. I started playing poker in 2003, but I would play on my hiatuses mostly, which was, we would, like, on Weeds, we would work from like January through August, and then I would have like 4 months off. So in those 4 months, I would typically write a pilot to try to get my own show on the air, which is like winning a poker tournament. It's like winning the main event when that happens, because your numbers are very similar in terms of odds of getting your own show aired. Essentially, you can make a living selling pilots, but getting them made and on the air is a more difficult numbers game. So I played poker from like 2003 to 2011, I'd say, where I would be like a weekend warrior. Like, I'd go to the World Series and I'd play like a 1500 type of thing, but I was a losing player, and I never played big buy-ins. And then I sold a pilot in 2011 to Showtime about professional poker players. So by then it was season 7 of Weeds, and even though we were working, I was so desperate to play the main event because I kept missing it every year.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck it, I'm going to play. I wasn't going to get fired for leaving and playing. And I said if I won, I would buy everybody cars. And I ended up running deep. I got 70th that year. So then that gave me like a bankroll to want to play WPTs in my hiatus. And then that's how I started playing bigger buy-ins, essentially.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, it's fun, right? What's more rewarding, a big final table to be at, or seeing like your work come to fruition on a show that's well received?
Definitely the latter. I would say, final tables are obviously really exciting and fun, and depending on, if you're at a final table and it's like 80,000 up top, but if it's like 2 million up top, that's going to be a little bit different.
True.
In terms of the rush and so forth. But creatively, like, poker is all instant gratification. Your fate in like 2 or 3 days, whereas writing is like the exact opposite. It takes like forever. It takes years. You grind, you suffer. It's like bleeding a lot. And then when your work finally makes it, and then if it's well received, then that's really much more rewarding, I would say, just because you hit a note, you hit a zeitgeist note somehow, and people are into it and they like the show. And it's very rare, because most people, most shows get canceled.
For sure. Yeah. And how was that?
I've been on many canceled shows. Like Weeds isn't my only gig. I've written on like probably a dozen shows, and like 6 of them probably never even, saw the light of day.
For sure.
So,
Wow. What a river card here. I mean, Ben, just such great position to get a big pot. He stuck in there, got the miracle card that hit both, and he had the better hand. And now a unreal river here. And this is going to be a tough spot. And I would think that our chip leader can go for a pretty healthy, meaty sizing. I mean, he really just jumped up into the value range here.
Did he 3-bet pre? I was talking, so I would imagine he would have 3-bet pre with that hand.
Yeah, you can see Ben doesn't even think wrong, and you can't blame him. He was miles ahead.
Yeah,
the random 6, and that's not really one that card that you think would change anything. So up to 6 million, really tough hand there for Ben, as he is going to take a hit, still at 960K, as the chip leader gets much richer. And he is actually, look at that lead, 6 million to 2.3. I mean, this is up there in one of the bigger leads we have seen, and he is going to be opening here and taking a bet. He's got a really nice lineup there, Matt. If you look, that row of people with not a ton of chips around him. I mean, really, no one has much chips. David Yan, the opposite side of the table with 2.3. No one else over really $1 million. Is Ace-8 suited going to take a nice spot, get it through there?
There really is nothing more fun than having all the chips at a final table, and having a bunch of short stacks where you can just like open really wide or 3-bet really wide. That's when, like, especially live poker, I find that like super fun. Not that it happens every day; it doesn't happen too often, but
we were saying how impressive that Jack's fold was as well. Like, just to know, like, you had the chips, you're covering. I mean, I gotta say, I'm raising my hand. I'm not folding on that board. I didn't have there's no spade. He had the other guy 2 spades run off. It was like 8, 3, 10, and you have Jacks. And I mean, I guess you just really know the guy's got to have you there. You got to be sure, because if you fold and he has Ace Queen of spades or something there, it's a pretty big letdown. And this is not going to work from our short stack. Ace-8 into aces. Juan Pardo Dominguez using a little time bank, showing a little veteran taking his time, mulling it over. Maybe Bert gets interested behind, but he is going to call. And what a tough spot to get done here. He needs runner, needs 8-8 or some straight. There's hope.
Got hope.
There is some hope on the turn. Not going to be, though. We'll see our first elimination, 8-handed, pay jumps lower left. We are down to 8. Appreciate everyone being here. Hit that thumbs up if you're having a good time. That will be the first part of the giveaway with the thumbs up. We'll put the keyword in later. Of course, the hands up. You guys can guess the winning hand for today. I put mine in 6 of hearts, 6 of diamonds. That's a progressive jackpot that is alive. And I got to see my Twitter. I don't know if it got up because there was a bit of a confusion on the time start, which we now know is 1:45 Eastern.
I think here we might see an all-in situation. He's calling again with Jack, so he is playing it conservative. Because he's the shortest stack, I would have thought a 3-bet get in is probably reasonable, but I wonder if he can win the hand with the Ace Jack here.
Yeah. Jack. I mean, tough spot, tough board. And you did see this player make a big fold with Jacks earlier on a much different board, and here now his wheels are spinning, though. He's not willing to go away for just one, and that card is going to be of a particular interest to both players. Having a key story here, and the Jack, though, is, I think, going to feel a little more confident with his hand.
Well, if he 3-barrels, it's a tough spot for Jacks. Guessing he'll check back.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he could shove, but I don't know. Probably never getting called worse, but
yeah, this river, I mean, as played, it's going to be a bit difficult to win the hand of 10 as well.
I think it's going to go check is my guess.
I mean, the Ace Jack can't think they're good, though, right? Because they're losing to like the one pair of hands. They're losing to, so it's just a matter of what could you get to fold. But I think he just thinks that his story isn't going to be too credible here, and Jack's going to check back quickly and be very happy to take that pot and extend the lead. Well played again. Hangs on for the bet on the flop. And I got a question from Dapper Dave in the chat. What about the two hands where the players did not go all in with ace queen, but rather just calling? Different thought process between the two hands. Yeah, I mean, ace queen's one of those hands. It's sort of like a middle pair, right? It's like you like it. It's got value. You're ahead of a lot of hands, but also can put a lot of trouble. And again, ICM, we talk about this every show. It's so important. The independent chip model at this juncture between like 8th and 12th in the tournament is usually, that's the most prevalent time for that, and you just don't want to be removing yourself from the tournament. Look at this, the moxie, the queen 5 off from the chip leader. That'll put a little pep in, wake you up there. Look at that, man. The queen 5 off. I mean, I'm putting that in my playbook. Against the chip leader open, he disregards the early position, just says this guy's going to be opening wide, and he just goes ahead and puts it in and stuffs it there. So really nice pickup from Ben there.
Oh, this could be an interesting spot here. Although the chip leader's playing so conservative that he may just. Well, it's a really good spot, actually, to put Yan in a blender because he's second in chips. But wow. They both...
Just call.
This will be an interesting spot. And now it's even more interesting.
I mean, it just shows you how much respect there is for the ICM, right? David on the button, ace king suited, and he is the one guy also that just doesn't, it's like a disaster. If he goes out, this is like the definition of ICM. If he goes out right now in second, or I'm sorry, when he's second in 8, that is a complete like disaster. It'd be really bad if they flipped right now. For
Jack of Hearts would be a really bad card.
That would be the one that might send everyone home early. That would be everyone just hitting. That could just be like shove every hand for our chip leader if he does take out Yan here somehow, but he is still in the lead on the turn.
Interesting. He called and then led in the big blind. You don't see that too often.
Well, he was the original raiser.
Oh, right? I thought he was the big blind. Sorry.
Yeah, because he opened and then David just decided to flat instead of 3-bet.
I thought he was the. I'm sorry. I thought he was the big blind for a second. And
no, David all right. It was getting a little out of hand. Things were just rolling a little too smooth for Tedwina. And the ace on the river, not a welcome sight for him. Although, again, when we see the cards face up, but even jacks, right, could definitely still be the best hand. He beats king queen suited. He beats some lower pairs.
I think he's playing so tight he's going to check fold.
Yeah, he could blocker bet also. He could do a variety of things. But yeah, I don't think he's going to go check call big bet. David on this particular river in this hand, if it checks him, could definitely go for some pretty big value. Obviously beating pretty much all the aces, right? He would beat ace king, ace queen, ace jack. So he does go for the blocker bet. And I would think generally this is going to get met with the raise. At the same token, David also understands the importance of this pot, but I think that size, I think you just have to raise, right? I think you have to go for like 400 or, 375.
I think he'll raise, although, maybe not.
Interesting. Yeah, again, such an important pot. Look at his stack now, though, compared to third place. So now 2.7, and no one else has over 1.1. So, again, just sometimes there is different times of a tournament. It's different than the opening or the middle or the bubble. Now you're at a final table, and chips are so important. And now he's in a really good position with 2.7 million in second place, and also pretty far away, right? Like we said, not next to. He's got a very good position at the table.
Yeah, I guess he's really conscious about not having to face pressure from the chip leader, even though the chip leader hasn't really shown any crazy aggression. He's playing quite passive, the chip leader. Like, I think in a live tournament, Yan at a final table might open ace-8 suited with like 55, or ace-8 off with 55 bigs or whatever he has. But online, you can't really get a sense of things, any tells or anything like that.
Yeah, I think everyone kind of holding here, realizing the payouts, the jumps and where they're at. It's really tight. I mean, we got first, second, and then sort of everybody else that is in a precarious position. Juan Pardo Dominguez sort of quietly back in the game. As we mentioned, he was short, and he has found his way back into a very healthy position.
How do you approach pay jumps typically, Jeff, yourself, when...
Oh, I mean, I definitely think in my game overall, historically, I've been more conservative and sort of like laddering, right? That's sort of, I have more seconds and thirds and than major titles. But in terms of, you know, I don't know, like I respect the ICM. I really do. I think it's also, that's why it's important though. If you're in a position to put yourself, you do notice certain players just seem to have huge stacks, like a Damo style, or, you know, certain players that just seem to always, if they're in, they have all the chips. And I think that's, you know, obviously the goal, right? To put yourself in those positions and go out a little more earlier, or risk more at certain points to have that opportunity for the first place score. But yeah, I mean, I these guys know what they're doing. There's everyone here knows about ICM, and they know how to, you know, approach it. So it's cool to see who does a little bit different strategy than others, who's willing to go for it a little more. You literally saw Bert type in, right? No ICM for me. Like on the King 9 suited call. So like that's also important to know if a player's gonna, like, that's a big part of it, is knowing your opponents, who respects it, who disregards it, and you got to kind of take that into consideration, especially if you have information, as we see a creative raise here with 3-8 suited on the river. Look at this, very strong. How about you? How do you approach it?
Also probably a little more conservatively, like yourself. But then I sometimes, when I look at, you know, coming 11th versus coming first, you know, there are times where it's such a massive discrepancy that you want to just go for it to try to get yourself some chips, you know, to be able to win so much exponentially more, that, you know,
it is constantly a puzzle, and that's also depends on the structure, depends on the player, the quality that you're playing against.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, it's hard because you sometimes like, oh, a chip in a chair, I can have 4, 5, 6, 8 blinds and be okay, and then sometimes you're like, you know, well, you know, you just, yeah, it's always interesting, and we are going to see Bert with the best of it. Ace Queen versus King Queen suited as the Jack 8-8 flop rolls off. 5-turn clean. Bert's living. I don't like jinxing players. He's been, you know, he's got to feel pretty clean at the moment. He's just been running clean. You win the main online while streaming, and you just feel like you're not going to lose those hands. Ace Queen to King Queen suited. Confidence, a big part of poker. He is going to take us down to 7. Nicely done from the Twitch streamer, the animal. I mean, there's no one in the poker world hotter than this guy. He's also been a guest. I like to give him a little booth magic. He's appeared on the GG Millions before. And Matt, I hope you're playing poker live sometime. I feel like there's been some really good results from guests on the show fresh off of the stream here. You know, it's cool to see some hands that players play in a different way at the top of the game here.
Well, I remember that used to be a thing back at the World Series when they would do, you know, guest commentary. I'd jump in the booth, and then, you know, the run good that came from being in the booth would sometimes happen.
Yeah.
So I'll take it. You know, that's the only reason I came on the stream, is so to launch a heater. So
I love it. Hey, listen, that honesty is great. We'll take it. I'll take it.
I'm just joking, but yeah.
I was happy to have it. It's been a while. Yeah, we haven't caught up in a while. And here we see the aces again for Bert, and King 6 off, closing the action, chip leader. This is when we have seen some 3-bets with these sort of gap. We saw the Queen 5 off, sort of this like high card, low offsuit where you just can turn it into a bluff. And with the chip lead, he does take it. I mean, it just almost feels like you can feel it. And this will be interesting. Bert likely just going to call, let him walk the dog here. And he's got doesn't even have a real hand. You know, it's not like King Jack suited, Jack, you know, some kind of nice equity hand. This is really a dog trash hand here. And Bert, let's see, does he click it or does he just call?
When you're on heaters, you call a lot of times and things just go your way. But I guess he thought this guy's been playing so tight that maybe he really had something.
Ship it. Yeah. 2 million. 2 mil. right, 3-4 suited
Well,
closing the action.
do you find when things are going your way and you've been on heaters, that they just perpetuate more heaters? Like you just always make the right decisions, where when you're running cold, you just can't do anything right.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And like you see some of these like miracle runs. You could name them on your hand, right? The Bonomo, the
Yeah,
Fedor Holtz, the Dan Coleman, Jason Kuhn. These runs where guys like they just can't miss and they can't lose, and it's like there's so much of that is confidence too. Even players just don't, they don't defend their big blind when they open. They don't want to call a 3-bet opposition when they normally should. They just, you feel like they know what you're doing, and it's scary. I mean, Dan Coleman, very good friend of mine. He probably had one of the sickest runs of ever. And the fact that he actually really did just kind of get out of poker, not like fake sort of retire, whatever,
yeah,
but like that run he had, and he would tell me too, it's just like he could feel it. He'd win like the 5K Hard Rock Main, and it would just be like
yeah.
people wouldn't defend their big blind, and you run through like 1,000-person 5K and win it as well, not just these like 30 or 20-person high rollers, which we've seen the heaters there, and it's like a lot, just like math wise, right? It's a little more likely you could win a 20-30-person tournament, in a stretch a few more times. But yeah, I just think the big part of it is confidence as well, with and people being fearful to put fear into people, which definitely happens when people are on these type of heaters.
Yeah, that was the most ultimate heater, Coleman's, because like you said, he got out of it after too. So some people, just will stick around because it's fun, and he just took the money and ran.
Yeah, actually, I went up to his. He's got like a ski place. I went to visit him earlier this year with my family and had a blast. And like he's literally like no computer in the house, like off the grid, just like chilling. I'm like, I respect that a lot. Like you are fully present and doing what you love and just relaxing. He's not in there and literally no playing, no poker. But he's also one of those guys could just turn up and get it done out of nowhere. He's just a great one of those guys that just understands how to win, how to play. But yeah, no, definitely a big thing of confidence and feeling good. Poker's wild, man. It's so wild. It's just so wild that these runs or the tournaments or the flips and these spots, it's like, it's such a life teacher of variance, and it's hard to really gauge it all, but it's, it is interesting if you look back at some of your biggest success or biggest moments where it was like, wow, if I just won that flip or didn't get 3-outed or didn't get coolered, what would have happened? And it's an interesting game.
It's very sick. It's sick how, like the turn of one card just can change your fate.
Yeah, change your career. You might be in makeup. Yeah. You may be staked. Maybe you got a family, and it's like the difference between you continuing or not. I mean, it's all very interesting. But you can say that in so many things. I think poker just like, it's like an accelerator, right? It's like happens so quickly in one hand, whereas like life, there's all these things happening that just aren't quite as abrupt, right? It could be in your career. I'm sure the same thing you said. Some shows take off. Some shows, maybe Weeds might not even been the best show, right? But that was the biggest, and it got the break, and it worked, and then right marketing or right whatever. Some of these other shows might have been the best, and they don't work, right? It's like you can't really put a finger on it, on like how it doesn't, why or when or what. It's very interesting. It's anything though, any profession, anything,
right?
Any trading. You could have the timing is just so important. Pretty interesting hand here. 8-10 and ace queen is in the lead. 8-10 does pick up some key equity, putting him open-ended. 10 high with the semi bluff seems like a good time to start betting. He does, and Ben, ace queen on this board is going to still feel, I think, fairly comfortable, and does call. Chip leader's not really made any missteps. Let's see. Does he take a shot here, or does he give a white flag? And if he does bet, I would imagine he is going to put a little bit of meat on it. Although, it's either kind of he's good or not. Either he's going to, the player has some showdown or not. The ace queen is a tough one here. This is really close. This has got to be a tough spot for Ben. You saw him snap call the ace jack where he got unlucky at ace 6. This time he is not so sure where he's at, and it's a little more complicated on the decision.
Wasn't following the action, so it's hard to see.
It was check flop, and then check bet call, and now check.
Was it a limp pot or a raise and a call?
It was limped. Yeah, because 280 out there.
I think he finds a call. But
Yeah, there's a lot of draws that miss. There is a lot hearts.
he does have the ace of hearts, so that removes some missed hearts. But
Yeah. Yeah, it does, but also in the limp pot, it's like less. I think it's less relevant about the heart. You know, it's just a little more likely an offsuit hand, or doesn't have. You know, he just got a random 2 cards. Could definitely have like 10-8, 10-7, Queen 10. He blocks the Queen 10 though. He does call. Yeah, I think he was going to find it there. Nice, very nice call though. Not an easy call by any means. Like the thing that impresses me most in the GG Millions, you know, slogan "Beat the Best." Like these guys just make, guys and girls, they make great decisions. Like the times where it's so close, you know, where it's like, it's like, wow, I can't imagine what I do. I can't, and we can see the cards, but they just get it right. They make the right call. They make the right fold. And it's just really impressive to me how the level is. That's a good question. I just Dapper Dave, you're dropping some knowledge. We're following along in the chat a bit. What do you think? I'll let Matt answer this. Based on your conversation, do you guys think that successful poker pros are much better than you, or that they are much luckier than you? Well, how would you explain sort of the creme de la creme, like the guys that are just these heaters and the players that even here, just some of these guys that are the ultimate best tournament players? What would you say it's kind of some of the differences?
well, definitely in the last bunch of years, they're way more studied than I am for sure. Like, so I don't use solvers. I don't study poker. I play more for fun these days, obviously, than anything. So certainly the curve, I would say, whatever, 10 years ago when I won WPT POI and I had a lot of final tables that season in the WPT, I think I had a bit of an edge in the sense that I was probably underestimated somewhat. I was a little older than the regs, so you catch a bluff here or you get a bluff through there. That's like the difference often. Like one hand in a tournament can make like a big difference. It's not whether how good you run or how hot you run. Because I've played so much poker in my life. Like that season on WPT, whatever, I made 5 final tables in the WPT. But there was only one tournament where I really ran like super hot, the one I won in Paris, I would say. And then I had a couple 6th and a 7th and a 10th. And in those tournaments, I just think I played really well, picked off the odd bluff. Like maybe there was a heater component because of the win. So, that kind of stuff. And I'm sure I made a ton of mistakes along the way during those runs too. So, yeah. But I don't think I ran incredibly lucky. Like definitely not in all ins. Like I obviously ran very well to like get into those spots, but yeah. I think today's game is harder. Everyone's just so much like, really understands spots so much better.
Yeah, this is a fascinating hand. It's actually, as it turns out, he starts bluffing here, or I'm sorry, starts betting his own hand, the turned board pair, which is definitely Ben knows there's going to be some of this is a line to take, and he doesn't really have any 6x. So this is actually a cool lead. As it turns out, maybe would have got some bluffing from Ben with the king 10 off and follow through on some clubs. He has the queen or a king that he thinks could be good. And now though, Bert is actually maybe making Ben. He's not looking to release it, and he steps into it.
Wow, this is sick because now he's put in so many chips. You obviously gonna have to fold, but
yeah, Bert obviously considering the call or just put it in now with all the draws, and he does actually decide to put it in, and Ben just snap folds. So very interesting hand and a nice pickup from Draft Ganger there. Bert Stevens.
Yeah, really good lead. I mean, he just, got him to say, "Oh, I don't believe you." And that's a leveling war there, probably between two guys who have a lot of history with each other.
Yeah, that was quite a hand. And Ben now the short stack 300,000. Waylon also short. We are at 7, and aces have been getting handed around. And Bert again with aces, and this time on the button. And the chip leader going to open that weak ace, and nines just shoots it right in the muck. Very interesting fold, considering I guess Ben's so short. The pay jump you can see at the lower left of your screen there, 7-handed going to 6. So it's a significant one, about 20K, 19,000. But yeah, doesn't think about it. And Bert going to go ahead and kick it up. And Ben actually with 6s in this stack with 5 blinds does get out of the way though to the raise and the 3-bet. Doesn't want to put it in with no fold equity, calling off basically 6s. And could the chip leader make a mistake here?
I think he's playing smart, the chip leader. I don't think he's gonna recognize that Bert isn't gonna mess with. Oh wow, no.
Well, because he just attacked him last time. The timing for Bert is so crazy that he gets the 2. Remember, he attacked him with king 6 off into aces last time. So now he's doing the ace 4 off, and maybe Bert this time just calls. But at the same token, he is basically in such a good spot. Maybe not the time to get cute with all the short stacks, right? You just pick up. Maybe you cooler the guy first of all. That's one reason to bet to raise, right? You click it. What does he do with kings or queens or ace king? You might just stack off, and then if he does have a random hand like, you know, the king 6 off like he had, and somehow he gets you, right? It sucks to go out when he's picking up chips. And this is even gives him room to spaz out. And as it plays, it is going to be 3.4 million second stack for our friend there, as it is a very new game all of a sudden. 3 very healthy stacks, couple shorter ones, and Ben finds queens in the small blind. See if he limps. Try to maximize the best chance to let his opponent hit something or put him in, or does he just shove off the short stack thinking that's thing? I think he might. Okay, interesting. I'm a little curious on that. I guess he's just figures he's going to get called so often and that it looks weaker, but I just feel like limping, you know, leaving the hand like 5-4 off, right? The flop comes
Yeah.
like 5 deuce.
Yeah, I mean, it's still called even with 5-4 off. So
wow, interesting.
he was gonna get a sweat. I knew it. I felt the sweat coming.
Little sweat, backdoor 2-pair draw available, and it is gonna be a ace. Gonna be good. Queens for Ben back in 632. Nice hand there. 4-5 off. How many blinds was that? I'm a little surprised by the call, actually. A little surprised. I think it might be a little too many. Bert gonna open up the ace jack off. Ben king jack off suit. Starts thinking about 10 blinds. Does he have fold equity? King jack off suit. Maybe because Ben, you know, something I noticed about Ben's game, he does look at that. He targets the bigger stacks, right? Like he remember the queen 5 off when the chip leader raised early, he shot it up, and here with a close spot, he just thinks that Bert may be opening too wide. He does run into the real goods, an ace on the flop, ace on the turn. GG, Ben and Bert tangoing, and in the end, D-Negs and Elky golf claps all around. Ben going to go out. Again, a guy not afraid to do it. One of the most accomplished players in poker. Raise Your Edge course, also Ascend Gaming. And it is going to be an exit for him in 7th, to the delight of Wayland, who has 700K. 7 left. Aces, man. We're just passing around.
I know. This is Bert's run up quite a stack here from crumbs and picked up aces a couple times, obviously, and been running really good. This is interesting. I don't know if he gets out of line here or if he's just can rein it back in. You know, your adrenaline gets when you go from like 600K to 4 million. I find personally that's when I get spewy. Is like, yeah, and that's what's happening here. Is sort of like
wow.
you kind of like get overly confident again, and then sometimes you just run into it. I wonder if this guy will flat here, if he's going to just click it.
I think click. I think the same principle. They're like 1 and 2. It's like it's just you might cooler the guy, or you just don't have some disaster happen, right? So interesting. And the queen, it is interesting to see the queen jack suited, a hand that has so much value that does, again, these players sort of want to just see where they're at, right? Instead of like calling, then it comes queen high, then you get in a tough spot. So they're playing some poker back and forth. 4-2 suited for one, not gonna.
I mean, must be nice. I mean, every hand he's getting, like every third hand is a premium. I got a final table. It's hard to do in any form of poker, let alone at a final table.
Yeah, that's Well, King Jack, take it down. So again, 6-handed. We'll have the giveaway for you guys. Remember, hands up. That is pinned in the YouTube chat. You can guess the exact suits of the hand for a chance at the progressive jackpot. We're going to have a $50 or $100 giveaway for you. I'll hit the keyword. First part of that is to hit the thumbs up if you're enjoying the show. Put the keyword in here once we get down about 3 or 4-handed. And I don't believe the tweet got out today. I think there was some confusion on the time and everything, but we will have that for you next week. Mario Masbach going to join us next week as the guest. Are you familiar with Mario? Matt, have you been watching him at all?
No.
So he's kind of one of these guys that sort of really burst on the scene. He's from Austria, I guess Germany or Austria as well. He played professional soccer, and he just won a Triton event. He just won a GGMillion a few weeks ago, and just having a lot of success.
Oh, wow.
So look forward to having him on. He's also one of those kind of up and coming. Just put a lot of work in, and you can tell he's getting the results. Yeah, I'm with you about the solvers. Like I get it. Like it's similar to golf, right? Like if golf, the guys to play on tour versus if you're scratch or +1, right? Like it's great. You're good. You can play. You can compete any day. You might win or shoot great, but it's like if it's not your profession, it's not your full time. It's just like the time, for it. Like same thing. I got 2 little kids. I love poker. I love doing this. I learn. I talk with some of the best players in the world. Try to do my best, but like I'm very realistic. I'm not going to go and be the favorite on a given day in one of these fields, right? But I could definitely feel like I could win, and it's fun.
Yeah, you have enough experience, deep runs, instincts, everything. Where like, okay, if you make slight EV mistakes, is it like the amount of study you have to like,
Yeah, or maybe push the variance a little bit in a spot or two, right? It's like, all right, like here I could do this, but I'm going to rip it in and on a closer spot, make maybe a coin flip or put a little more of a thing. But I'll tell you what, I do think these help a lot. Like it's cool. And again, it's different because this won't get you to the final table, right? Because it's very different structure stage, but it helps.
This must be invaluable doing this every week for sure.
Yeah. It's like a forced study session, which I would, I don't want to say it out loud. I'd do it for free, right? But luckily I'm with GG, and don't quote me on that. But I do love it, and I think it is fun, and it's also cool to see the best. Like these guys are the best in the business to watch them operate. David, Jan, smooth operator. Bert, same thing. Juan Pardo Dominguez, very familiar. Those 3. These other 3, less familiar with, but I am very impressed by our chip leader today. I'll say that. Very impressed with his play so far.
What's his name? What's the screen name? It's hard to see.
Ted Winna Salsberg. I'm not sure if that's his real name. I gotta get clarification. I feel like I should have a better answer on this because it's like GG they've done a good job, like sort of pushing and having professionals and people be with their real names. The actual distinguishing cutoff to have to use a real name or not, that is I'm unclear about. I think there was an opportunity to have new usernames as well, and I'm gonna get a little more clarification on that. So I don't know if that's his name or that's his.
What's your thoughts on that? Still using anonymous names today in 2023?
Man, it's such a tough one. I've seen like the major sites do different things. At some point, it's kind of fun to have a moniker, right? A call sign, your own sort of name and whatever. At the same token, with fair play and different all the different possible over problems that can happen. I do think there's something to it. But then what about the businessman that is a businessman that really just wants to let loose and go away for a week and play the WSOP online and grind? Does he need to have his name out there? You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. It goes both ways. I think for the greater good, it's probably nice to have the real names, right? Like I think that does more good, but yeah.
I'm a believer that I think we're at the point in poker where it should be all real names, that there's too much, cynicism with online poker, that I think that would go a long way to, keeping it more legitimate.
Yeah. It's moving that direction. It is. It definitely is, but
it seems
not perfect.
Yeah, I know. It seems simple to me to, so many things that you have to verify, just even in like WSOP.com, the amount of verification and stuff like that you have to do to just like be able to play, and the geolocation and stuff like that. Although you don't use real names on that site, but pretty much everybody who plays on that site, if you type in the screen name, it'll be revealed online who that person is for the most part.
Yeah.
Whereas Whereas the anonymity here, like I don't know we don't know who the chip leader is here, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I agree completely. It is also nice, yeah, exactly, just for the standpoint of knowing who's who, right? That it's like a real person. It's like not someone can make a thing and whatever. So yeah, I agree. I think they're doing that. And 3-9, going for the value jam here, 2 pair. Gonna just think that based on how the hands play is gonna be good. A lot. Nice shove there. And it is still 6-handed. Seen a lot of premiums. Ace 10 off. Wayland been very selective. 6-handed ace 10 off under the gun. 10, 11 bigs basically. Tough spot. Does lay it down. Would have liked probably an open there, or even maybe a shove, but I guess open makes sense. 6-handed under the gun. I guess I don't know. Could go a couple different ways there. He's also, I guess, him and Juan, right? They're basically tied for the shortest. So pay jumps are a thing, and it's 25 grand on the line, roughly. The next spot. All right. 10-3 suited, gonna limp fold. Jack deuce suited puts up the temperature. Wayland gonna be in the big blind here. 6-handed. Hope you're enjoying. Let us know where you're watching from in the world. If you can hit the thumbs up, that's the first part of the giveaway. Gonna be $50 or $100 GG ticket, whether it's one of Matt's players for 50 or mine for 100. I think Matt did have the chip leader, if I'm not mistaken. I had David Yan and
How do I
Juan
do
Carlos Dominguez.
how do I do the progressive thing?
Oh, to enter. Okay, you click that link on YouTube for the GG hands up, and then you
where is that link?
On the GGPoker on YouTube, the stream. If you go there, you can. They have it pinned in the chat.
Oops.
There's one simple vision hack anyone can use to improve vision.
Right.
So you can say.
Yeah, the YouTube there. Yeah, so it's there, and it's the link. You can click on it, and then you just type in the hand. I think if you make if you actually officially submit a guess and it happens, you get the jackpot, which it's hit once.
Okay, so GGPoker Live, YouTube, and then
one simple vision.
Ace 10, gonna pick it up as we go to the new hand. No real big hands there. 3.3, really 3 big stacks, 3 small stacks. That's what we got going on here. And this could be just a shove, right? It could be start getting in that mode. He's risking effectively the stacks no one wants to call off. And there it is. Look at that, man. We're dialed into that. He's shoving there, and he is gonna put a lot of pressure on even Tim, who has like a ace 10 or something there. He's gonna probably force a fold. As he does there, ace 3 gets a better hand to fold. Mystery hand, Matt. It's time to shine. Queen deuce suited. Chip leader is gonna play, I guess, right? That's we see his hand. He says OMG. He's can't shove here with 3 million. Let's see if he's just gonna open. There it is. Min raise. Matt, you ready to battle Bert here?
Yeah, sure.
Queen deuce suited. Defend. Oh, okay. What do you like here?
Well, not so much info right now, so let's see. I'm assuming
no, you're playing as the chip, the hand you can see. Play that hand like what you would do. So Bert checks, queen deuce suited. What size are you going with here?
Oh, I'd probably bet half pot. Maybe a third pot.
Yeah, pretty dry board. Queen 5-8. So he's aligned with you a little more than half pot. Bert gonna have a tough decision with. He could have a lot of hands. He could have even, just flatted 6s. He could have 5x here. He could have ace high that he thinks is good. And the backdoor spades come in. You have queen with the deuce kicker. What are you getting called by? That's one thing.
I think pocket pairs will call. I'm thinking maybe depending on the sizing. He could have a hand like ace 10. Something like
So he goes for half pot here. Yeah, about half pot, 570. And Bert with now we get to see his hand.
Oh, wow. He backdoored the spades.
Sick.
But it's a huge cooler for chip leader.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like this is now the question Bert's thinking about. He's obviously at least calling, and then how much to raise. So he does go for 1.6, and now tough spot. I guess maybe they showed us the hand a little early, right? It would have been fun to sweat this without it, but now either way, I mean, what do you think he's going to do? We do know that he's beat.
I think he's going to fold. I think he's been playing really well. Yeah.
What if he turned his hand to a bluff there? What do you think Bert would have done with this nut flush draw getting re-raised there?
I don't think Bert would have folded after making it that much. But that would have been sick. That would have been really sick if he turned that into a bluff.
Yeah. No, we've seen some sick hands for sure. Making some notes on the show here. There's definitely some interesting hands. I love this. I do love reviewing some of these because there's some very cool spots. And A7 Queens, David in good position here. Queens got a key cards going on. A7 not going to be really interested here, right? This Queens got to feel very good about their hand as the action is unfolded.
For sure. You could target a 10 with queens here. Or ace high, even.
Yeah, it does make a bet. He is in the big blind, range very wide. Gives an affordable, attractive price. I'm being told Ted Weena is an alter ego of a character from How I Met Your Mother is the name. So yeah, don't think it's the real
Oh,
name,
okay.
but and whoa, this is why we love the game map, because this is one I would have thought just on to the next one or call, right? And then oh yeah, 474 just goes ahead and pushes it up. Queens though blocks Jack Queen, and all of a sudden just raising here. It doesn't make a ton of sense. I don't know. I mean, this is a weird line.
It is weird. I think David might be able to just snuff it out.
Yeah, because as played, why did he not bet at any point? Would he raise a king? Probably not. So like, unless he has like tens exactly, and even then, like, you know what I mean? What does he got? Because you have the jack, you block Jack Queen. Why is he betting now? I think he might call.
Sometimes you make small bets to induce bluffs. You know, now it's easier to do nutted, so he got away from it, but
interesting hand. Very interesting hand there.
Yeah, really good bluff by the chip leader. I mean, put a lot of pressure on David and made him fold the best.
Yeah, I think his image is working too, right? We saw, I mean, if I'm sure most of the players,
that's true. Yeah,
they're watching the replay. They're watching it and they're like, oh, this guy folds jacks. He does this. He's playing pretty snug. He's folding eights to opens, like, and now he's just popping me here in this spot.
Yeah, this guy's playing so well that, I mean, I'd be shocked if it wasn't somebody who was a well-known pro.
I mean, it could be, right? That's the thing. Not every player is real name. So I mean, yeah, it could be. He's playing 10K online. Listen, most players that are playing 10K online, got to believe they're pretty competent. Of course, there's satellite options, which is great on GG. So you sometimes do see players that come through, but this guy is playing above the rim, no doubt about it.
Do you have access to see if he's a satellite winner or if he's a direct buy-in?
Yeah, so season 3 satellite, he has not played. He looks like he bought in direct, because I mean, even David Yan has played some satellites. Like, it shows you how many satellites they've done, and here he's got 0. So on the notes, but 0 satellite winnings. But to be fair, GG winnings, he's got 1.7 in earnings on GG. So he's been around
Tedwina?
His first time playing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa, Bert. Ace-9 suited. I guess, yeah, not that much more. Going to go ahead, put it in. Going to run it down. And it is off to the races. Some chop cards available. Bert is saying one time, looking for something there. Don't think he can use it one time. He's on the no one-time list for a while. He just won one of the biggest tournaments in the history of online poker while streaming it like an absolute savage. That is not going to be able to use one time for 2023, at least for a bit. That's a walk-off. Most people would walk off going to the sunset, but no, he's in there. He's in there grinding. He's in second place, basically tied for first right now.
Well, what do you think about somebody like Bert who really doesn't play very much live at all, I guess, and just crushes online? I don't know. I feel like it's so much more fun to play live poker than online.
My man's in the middle of a farm in the middle of Europe somewhere, right? So like I think he's got a lot of people and animals depend on him. I feel like for him to just like go around, travel the tour and the circuit might not be his main priority. At the same time, right? He did it. He did his stuff. Maybe now that is something. He starts hitting some tritons and goes around, and here he's going to have a good favorable spot as well. We actually saw this cliffhanger queens to ace-9. This was in the game of gold hand cut off, as we see that was like a cliffhanger with Andy Stacks versus Charlie Carell. But queens to ace-9, he is drawing specifically to a river non-club ace. Not going to be. Bert will be your current, basically tied for chip lead, down to 5, and 3 very healthy stacks, 2 shorter ones. Sorry, I think what you just asked me a question about how we do live, and I think you do well live. I mean, look, the great players, they seem to be able to do it, and of course it's different, but also you never know how someone's going to come on and do live. Dan Coleman, I mentioned his name earlier, had a ridiculous story as well for live. He was not playing any live. He's like the best heads up sit and go player in the world, crushing just like per one, making money. He was living in Montreal. We did the Premier League. That was, I believe, season 7 in Montreal. I don't know if you saw this or any of the Premier Leagues, but there was a confirmed lineup. I believe Helmuth canceled or Negreanu last minute, one of them. And like there was 11 of 12. And then they were asking around who's in the area, like literally a day or two before, like who could play in the Premier League. It's 125K buy-in, whatever. And someone mentioned this guy, Dan Coleman. Like they were like, he's a really good player. He's never played live. He's crushing. He gets the call. He comes over. And that was the start of his heater. He ended up getting, I think, 3rd place. I got 2nd. Sorel Mizzi got 1st. And he was chip leader with 3-handed, like crushing everyone. And he ripped 5s into kings. Then he ended up getting short. He got 3rd, not 1st. And that was, if you look at his Hennen mob, I think it was like 2013 November, and that was like his first recorded, I believe, or one of his first ever live results. And then it was like 14, 15. He just that's sort of like that butterfly variance effect too, right? He gets called up to this. Maybe he would have just sat online and done his thing and picked up his money quietly. Instead, he gets pushed into the online thing, or the live circuit, wins or gets a big score, and then he was just off to the races. So yeah, the interesting anecdote about Dan. That was fun. It gave me a little bit of Premier League vibes. The game of gold too. The like sit and goes and the points. Let me take a look at Dan's Hennen mob. I want to pull it up there. I mean, yeah, he has a very quiet 29 million in earnings, live earnings. I mean, 23rd all time, 15.
No, I mean, cash. I actually think he would probably be the all-time leader if he kept playing. I mean,
yeah, I'm gonna go back. Let's see. The crazy thing is Hennen's mob is a short. He only has 46 cashes on his Hennen mob. Good for 29 million, Matt. That is a wild stat.
Yeah, I have like 225 caches and have like, I don't know, almost 3 million, but yeah. Like to like 10% of that. So that's an insane stat.
Yeah, and if he played in 2008, his first ever tournament, got 4th for 23K, right? But it won't even count those. This was like 08, 09. He played like one tournament this year. And then it was 2013 in November. Let's call it January 2014, right? The end of 13. Yeah. He scores 3rd for 194. and then he goes in April, hits 2 million in a high roller, and then June he wins the one drop for 15 million, and then it just like bam, million score, million score, million score, you know, whatever, win, 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 500, just in that, you know, just yeah, crazy run.
And I remember playing with him in some events, and you know, played perfect.
He's coming out. He's confirmed on my. I'm gonna have him on my podcast, but he wants to do it live in person. So I'm getting this set up here. Matt, you got to come on too. I know we talked about it a long time ago. I'm glad we got to chat today. But I'm gonna book you while you're on the air, so you can't say no to me.
All right.
Okay. We're gonna lock that in. Dan would be a great guest on the GG Millions, right? Because you don't really hear of him. Like he's sort of like this.
Oh yeah, I mean, you should do a mystery guest.
Ooh. Mystery guest. I like that.
Yeah.
We'll have to put some other names in a raffle then, because if people are watching, they'll assume it's him. But yeah, well, he would be. I don't know if he'd do this. He said he'd do the podcast. I don't know if he does. You know, like he's just so out of poker. But I think he would do it.
Well, maybe if he's so out of poker, he's got such a mystique about being such a genius that if he says anything that's like deviates from solver or anything, he'll get reamed out by the community or something. But
yeah, well, yeah, he's been in sabbatical for sure. All right, ace 10, 9-10, gut shots everywhere. Don't want a queen if you're David. You also are 1.9 million. This is a hefty pot here. Wow, 1.9. I'm sorry, I was making notes, kind of blacked out, looking at Dan's Hennen Mob, and here we are with maybe the pot of the tournament with a 437 bet on the turn. No diamond. You have ace 10, and you start thinking, could I have the best hand here? But you're also, it's not really attractive to draw just to a gut shot, and maybe even if you hit it in a queen of diamonds, it's no good. Like, what if you call here, you're not drawing. You think you have the best hand.
Yeah, this is a tough spot. I don't know if I could make this call here, but
the problem is you call, there's 2.7 in the middle, and it's SPR about 1, right? Or right. I guess effectively David's just like saying he's all in on the river for 2.2. Can you call that where it would be your stack? And just class. Why is he the GG Million #1 player ranking? He can do it. He can find it. He gets it done. He's been quiet today, and look at him in the lead, 5-handed, 4.5. This is a guy that knows his way around a final table, and he is in position yet again for another title on the GG Millions. Pretty impressive. Nice, very nice hand there. Oh, Matt, keep you busy now. Mystery hand.
Another mystery hand.
Done. Let's go.
All right. Hand's going to raise. Was a Bert defending? Is that what's going to happen? Check.
Okay. What do you like now? We got Bert with the turn. He defended the big blind. Checks. Right. 8-9.
Checks twice. I mean, I don't know if David will check or bet here. Checks. Okay.
Interesting spot where you now improve, but so many things do come home. There's straights, there's flushes, and you have a 2-pair hand. It seems like a mandatory bet, although it's a little scary, but
it'd be a go bet raise scenario where Bert be like, what's he repping here? So I feel like Bert could make it like 900.
Yeah, right. If you have Jack Queen, you bet the flop. So you take that away. If you have a flush draw,
there you go.
The interesting part though is that David also realizes that, right?
I think Bert could have complete air here. Sometimes just thinking David never has a flush, never has a straight, or not very often.
It's It's actually a very fascinating hand. I'm trying to think what I'm doing with 8-9 here, because like you don't love it, but also you think maybe Bert would be the same logic. He might be,
Right.
leading.
I think you have to call if you're David. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bert just had the ace of hearts, so I think it's a great call by David. You have to call.
Nice hand. Very nice hand. Yeah, it's a tough spot. I was thinking what I would do. I would have taken some more time, and I'm not sure. But yeah, both players repping pretty thin, right?
Yeah.
Very cool hand. Very cool hand. 6 is gonna rip it.
Yeah, and David said did not want to get shown the bluff.
David's actually someone I've never really gotten to talk with. I'd love to have David on. David, you are currently leading the GG Millions. This is an open invite to come on to be a guest. Although he's a tricky one to put as a guest on the books, right? Because he could just be at the final table, which is like a real problem when you're the number one player and the thing. It's like, didn't I say before the show, Matt? I said I got to check the stats. It says he's cashed everyone. He has 4 final tables and 3 titles, and I don't think it's wrong now that I think about it. Yeah, he's leading the GG Millions. That makes sense. That they're saying they're double checking the stats, but either the internet, he's just absolutely just on fire, and he is leading your chip leader today. This is weird. This is like those arguments when you're talking about legalizing online poker and you go to the government and you're just like, yeah, like this guy, like this is your current day argument. GG, like this guy just, show them it. That's a hard one to get through. You're in California, right? And that's like the main state. That would be one of the biggest countries in the world if it got legalized. Like the same traffic, the state alone, it would be so big. But it's like talking to my wife about poker, saying like it's just so hard, right? Like it's like to spend the time for like to get it to understand that it's skill, and you see the daily fantasy and now sports betting everywhere. It's just kind of crazy that we're still, when Black Friday happened 2011. April 15th, to think today, 12, 13, coming on 13 years later, that we would not have poker like legal in the US. I would have bet, that's surprising. That's a bit startling. And the fact that daily fantasy is legal. It's essentially,
it's such, sports. Yeah, but it's like, everything is so state, corrupt. And so like we have it in Nevada and New Jersey and Pennsylvania. But California doesn't have it because these tribes, I think, are just like think that it'll kill their casinos or what have you.
Yeah.
And even Adelson for all those years trying to keep it out of Nevada. Yeah, I don't know where I stand on whether or not I even think it should be legal. I don't know. I guess it should be because it's legal live, but as far as all the security measures that need to take place to ensure fair play,
Yeah, the other side of that, those people that want to play are going to play, right? They're going to fight. It's almost better giving them a service to like, you're almost like forcing them to be more safe because of the security and guidelines than just like, oh yeah, go play on this unregulated site or do this, right? Like that's the other side of it. So it is tricky. It's a big issue. I mean, it's not a simple,
Yeah, and poker's been like this evolving, industry over, however many years, like, not with all the tours and all the online stuff, the government hasn't caught up to even knowing how to like, tax people efficiently, even, and all these different countries have different tax laws and states have different tax laws, things like that. And then, keeping track of every record of poker, like, it's just sort of an accounting nightmare.
Wow. I look at the overbet execution here with literally the worst hand you can have. But 3-5 is a straight, right? I mean, he's got actually effectively the worst possible hand, and he is just ripping it in on our friend here. 5-6 off, showing the class what he's going for. And his wheels are spin. Does make the call. This is just 2 greats playing above the rim today. Great bet, better call. Whoa. That's the hand of the day. There's some special stuff here. I'm telling you, it's like there's some and you don't have to stew long. You get queens on the button next hand, and A7 is
Disconnected.
Disconnected, which actually could be, again, this is butterfly effect, could actually work out well for him instead of 3-betting or, coming along and potentially getting
Yeah,
in
speak
trouble
of the
here.
butterfly effect, my friend Nipun Java won a bracelet this summer online, and he disconnected at a time when he had queens, and he would have lost the hand and didn't
Wow.
end up playing the hand, and then ended up winning the tournament because he disconnected at that time.
Wow. Yeah, that is something you don't, usually hear the other side of that, right? Like disconnect with aces or some kind of horror story, but there you go.
Yeah.
That's running good. Yeah, that it is crazy. That stuff it's wild. These type of things. Poker really, again, I just think it pushes it in a bottle. It's like explosions. Wow, queen 3, king queen off. Queen 3 is gonna. Oh, he's sitting out. So okay, yeah, he just gets it in here, and king queen finds a very nice spot to get the double. 1.4 million. Tim not gonna like that. We are still 5-handed. And Tedwina is sitting out at the moment. And it looks like players are noticing that maybe there'll be some
are they gonna stall to give him a chance?
Yeah, looks like David Yen. That's what you need. That's what you need in the they're in a little bit. People aren't going to waste their own time, but they are. It looks like they'll be taking a bit of time, right? They're not going to go into their chess clock too much, but they will at least take as much time as possible. And even
can you pause the clock to look at numbers?
So there is no deal making.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yeah.
No deal making?
Not in the GG Millions. And then now the GG Million Live, the Millions is they do the 25K across, like at the Tritons, they'll be at the Bahamas, they're doing it all over. So they keep track of the score of your actual results, right? It's like your rebuys, your everything. It's like your total profit, and they keep a leaderboard, and it's a cool, that's the one thing about Hen and Bob, which is cool, but also kind of silly in a way, right? Where it's like guys can rebuy and do this, and you don't know their real like profit. This is cool about the GG Million. It's a way to sort of unify and see like really what people are doing, their profit, their ROI, and track that. So that's like they're doing this for a live tour, and there's prizes and rankings and leaderboards for that. So really innovative thing, and I think it's awesome, right? Because it is kind of cool to see that and see how people are doing actually results wise. Three deuce, 5-8, jack 4-9-8. No one with higher than a jack. There's the Robbie. She's been a guest on the show. Matt, you're in California. You're kind of in tune to the live stream stuff. I don't want to, this is an old topic. Just give me your 30-second take on the Robbie J. Lou situation. Good for poker, bad for poker. Any key takeaways from that whole thing?
I don't think good for poker. I don't think it was a good look, no matter what. I don't think, maybe it brought some attention to poker, but not exactly the attention that you want, I think.
Right.
Well, but it was certainly several months of, got people talking.
I actually don't know. I would argue that it could be good for poker, though, in some respects. I feel like it brought attention in a way that maybe people in home games, other things, it brings awareness to like these type of things, though, to be cautious, to look at it, maybe take some. I know home games I play, and there's some extra cutting, extra different things that are happening, because you do have to be on your toes. And it's like, if you start thinking, well, if it can happen, if something could happen, like the fossil situation, it's happening in a televised venue, and like even like you can't be naive and you can't be cavalier on things. You got to be proactive, and you also don't want to be overly stressed, right? And like thinking everyone's up to something at all times. That's dangerous too. But there's a fine line. I think it's like just going on autopilot is not good either, right? Like you might.
I've personally stayed away from home games,
right?
The home game scene, cash game scene, forever because of trust issues. So what I do play live cash, but I'll do it in LA casinos. or even those games now are like sort of semi-private sometimes.
Yeah.
And even that sort of like a little bit of like, okay, just keep your eyes open on things or what have you. So it sucks that there are security flaws or things that can potentially, be ways to cheat. I don't know if you read that Wired article on how you can sort of hack the deck mates, the automatic shufflers, if you really know how to do that.
There's Deckmate 1, Deckmate 2, and there is
Yeah.
programs on phones. I mean, that's also why with phones, like, you want to try to not have them really much at the table. Of course, in a home game, it's harder. You can't tell people, oh yeah, no one can have their phone. But like, it's kind of, yeah, you can also use some judgment on stuff and be reasonable. But yeah, it's just, I think awareness. That's the key thing. Awareness is important to be alert more so than awareness. All right, guys, I'm going to get this tweet out. There was some confusion on the time. I think it was going up, then it got back. I will have a pinned tweet, Jeff Gross Poker, going to be $50 cash out of my pocket. Going to get that out there here in a few moments. I'm just told, sorry for that. It was backed up, but we will have that. So it'll be a bunch of giveaways. And again, I want to remind everyone right now what's happening. People are not tanking because they're trying to ladder or any kind of craziness. This is strictly a sportsmanship for the Ted Weena account that is timed out, and I think actually down to a minute on the shot clock. So again, we've never seen this type of delay where a player's been out this long. We have had some internet disconnects, but not quite like this. So let's see, everyone's showing pretty good sportsmanship, even going into the chess clock, which is, that's definitely like overboard, right? That's overly sportsmanship. You're actually taking a bit of a disadvantage in theory if you were to run out. We see it where people have run out. Like these games can go for a while. We have had both players lose their clock, which is pretty fascinating. And we've definitely seen one player multiple times in a match where they run out of a clock and then you only get 5 seconds to act. So yeah, again, great sportsmanship. We do respect that and appreciate it all around. Looks like everyone participating in this. So hopefully Ted Weena gets back. I mean, at some point it's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, if everyone just runs out of clock by doing this, and this is real money, man. This isn't the Turbo 22 nightly for 1,800. This is
Right.
this is 300 grand up top with big payouts. So I mean, again, like sure, Bert, David, these guys have won a lot of money and this and that, but like no one's telling them to making them do that. So it's and other players as well, probably less experience, less results. And if you're Wayland or you're Tim, it's a big moment for you. Like you have a chance to potentially benefit a lot from a pay jumper from Ted Weena to be, to be blinded down or capitalized. So interesting. Let's see how long he's out for. I mean, I hope he gets back soon, man. What a sick. That's sick. That could be like a real one, like a power failure or like something wild, like it's not just like a flicker and it's back, or you lose connection, because he's been down for some time here.
Yeah, he must be going crazy right now.
Yeah, there's a difference too, right? There is a difference on losing it for a second and being and like getting queens and then would have been out, and or even just like winning, would have won the hand, right? And it's like it sucks, but there's then actually being pushed out where you're out is
Mm-hmm. Is there any insurance for this kind of stuff?
Man, I've not seen this quite. This I have not seen this yet. I've never seen a delay like this, and I guess now it gets a little interesting here. The dynamic, you're effectively playing against in position. Just one, the David Yen is the last to act. So Bert, who is taking time, and actually looks
back.
like that he's back. So he is back.
Yeah.
And that's actually important to note if you're Bert. What did you just say? OMG.
Insane.
Yeah. Well, he's still got 4.4. Still basically tied for the chip lead. So he is tied for the chip lead. Welcome to Mexico. Yeah, I've heard that Mexico has, I've noticed, had some of the tougher internet situations, and we've noticed that.
Somebody wrote in the chat someone didn't pay their internet bill.
And the king 6, so the 5-6 open-ended to the low end. King rolls off. Here's another overbet situation, the ace on the river, and David again finds himself with pretty much the worst hand you can have in a scare card on the turn to some degree, but it's also important to know when to give up. Let's see if he decides that's the time or not, with the basically chip leaders tangoing here. Whoa. Not some people just don't give up, Matt. And a little equity on the internet possibly here, and he's just really going to get disconnected again. And all right, he's back. He's thinking, and he's just going to fold. He doesn't want to mess around with it. He probably realizing if he calls and he's wrong, the extra million could go a long way with some of these other guys that are short and going to have to be, messing around there. That 4 million can go a long way if he's disconnected for a while. But good bet, David, man. Is David, I don't want to be like a fair weather fan. I don't want to just whatever, but is David Yan, he might be playing the best poker in the world. Look at his results in the GG Millions, and then you can search him live as well. I mean, he is just in form, and he has found himself in another, my phone literally got connection. Okay, so queens to ace deuce, looking for another KO. David Yan, clean flop. Nothing to worry about other than that space on the river card. I don't like saying it out loud. I feel like it can implicate things, but it is there. Just sometimes you don't have to say it. You can just think about it. There it is. Hello. Tim Duncan slams one on the river right there, Matt. That is an absolute monster hit for him.
Yep. Yeah, that's a huge catch.
I mean, what a moment for him, and unfortunate for Wade and everyone involved really to be down to four-handed. I think gonna get this tweet up in a second, guys. I'm sorry it was super delayed today, but you still have a chance to get it in. And it is going to be still four-handed, five-handed, not four-handed, it's five-handed. J4 not playing this time. He's definitely taking it serious over there. He's playing fast and gonna be not messing around too much. David Yan, 4.3 million, was about to separate himself into a decent chip lead as we see two real hands, blind on blind, ace 5 offsuit, king 9 suited. Tim thinking about, he's on a little bit of a free roll, Matt. It's nice to get a little more confidence after you spike one. You kind of realize you're on borrowed time.
You ever just spike one miracle and then in a huge equity spot and then just bust the next hand like when you shouldn't? Like,
I mean, yes, the answer is yes. Definitely have done it. I've seen it a lot, and it happens as we know, man. Poker's a wild game. It's just a wild game. There's so much so many swings and highs and lows in a short period of time. It's pretty beautiful game though. I love it. Do you find playing less that you enjoy it more? Like, is that noticeable when when you won the WPT Player of the Year 2013, you were like going to stops, and did it become tiring? Whereas now it's like if you're playing kind of less, but you go play, you're like really dialed in, and you're like, I want to be here.
It's a little tricky because the more I play, the more addictive it is, and then then the more I want to play, especially if I've done well, or even if I've like not done well, then you want to like chase and chase your losses or have a good showing, so poker is definitely like a bit of a trap. But I think I've noticed in my life over whatever 20 years that the more kind of organized I am in my personal life or just my life in general, the better my results in poker are. Like,
yeah,
when like you're kind of maybe in a bit of a funk or whatever, and then you go all in poker, then poker becomes like a job, and then when it's a job, it's harder to like have deeper runs, whereas when you're working or doing other things and you have balance in your life, it becomes more of a meditative break, and then your results sometimes are just better.
Yeah, well said. I mean, it's just tough too to be, when you're not present and you got to deal with stuff or people and you're talking and not really at the, because it is important at the table, especially.
Yeah, it
live.
really
Really,
is. And
really
I have
focused.
this thing where like I live in LA, so there's like four major card rooms here. And like when I go out of town, like my results from playing when I'm out of town are like heaps better like than my results playing locally for tournaments. And I think it's because, you know, like LA is such a stressful city. Like I'll go play at the bike, let's say, or whatever. It takes an hour to get there with traffic. You're like kind of tilted when you get there, see the same faces over and over again. You're just not in a relaxed state of mind. So therefore, you know, you try to force it a little too much, or at least I do. I would say that. So, but when I'm in a new venue and I'm out of town, I somehow, you know, just seem to have really good results typically, because I'm just like away. My mind is off work. My mind's off, you know, like Hollywood stuff or whatever. And it's just a much,
Yeah.
it's a better experience. Like I went to Resorts World I never played at Resorts World for the first time this week, and I had a good week there. It was just like kind of nice to just be in a fresh venue, out of town, you know. Um,
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I agree with that completely. Also, like with kids, you know, it's like, I want to bring them, go to Bahamas,
yeah,
the GG, all this stuff. It's cool, but it's like, you know, you're just not all in. Then it's like, all right, the second you're like, oh, I'll play this hand. If I bust, I'll hit dinner with my family, or I'll,
right.
you know,
Yeah,
so it's like,
exactly. Yeah.
and your wife is, you know, she's texting, or like, you're like, oh, okay. Or then in the morning you want to relax or meditate or work out. But like, then how do you do that versus, you know, spending time with your 4-year-old or whatever, right? It's just like, there's all these different things. Or even like your friends that are there versus like, you know, doing your own thing. So it's very interesting. I think the elite, similar to sports, golf was the closest comparison I would say is golf, like with how the tournaments are and the cuts and the
Yeah.
pay jumps and all that. You know,
Yes.
like yeah, these guys are like laser focused. You know what I mean? They're not on Instagram in between holes or at the turn. Like they're in there like immersed. And I think you kind of have to be.
Yeah, I had a situation this weekend at Resorts World where I was on dinner break of the 5K and I had a decent stack. And then I went for dinner with people, but I kind of wanted to just go to my room and relax and take an hour and just like get off my, you know, lie down and just kind of get your brain to just relax a bit. But instead, I went to dinner and then I just sort of punted off my stack right after dinner, and then I had to re-enter. I kind of got my focus back on my re-entry bullet, but I had like double starting stack right after dinner, and then by the end of the level, I was out. So I felt like if I was laser focused, I would have just said no to socializing and just gone to my
Yep.
room, relaxed, and then, you know,
Yep.
have made better decisions. But
And look at this value bet. Ace deuce gets a nice bet. It is top pair, but in the situation, he does go for it. Gets called by David, who does, like I said, in those spots, you just kind of see the guys always seem to make the right decision. There was a hero call that didn't work out. Still healthy though, right? 3.6, still in good shape. And I think the secret's out. Our chip leader is capable too, right? He's shown that was playing tight, but he's sort of switched gears. He's made some light 3 bets, king 6 off. Some other hands definitely gets called there. I think David realizing he doesn't have to just have a premium. He looks him up, and he did have the top pair as, here we go, blind on blind. And let's see if he's going to put pressure. 42 seconds on his shot clock now after some disconnects and other things.
no, it's just turning into like a decent final five now. Nobody's too short. I mean, Wayland's a little short, but
Yeah. 10-6 suited, ace-7 off. He's going to go ahead and pop it up. Snap fold. We are, again, 5-handed. Everyone not so short though. Waylon is up to 1.4 million, 80K big blind. The blinds go up. You can see in the upper left gives you what level we're on, how many hands till the next blind increase. 50, 100, always a fun one. Things get moving. Also easier to tell how many big blinds. Quick math. As we see a lot of familiar faces today. Already 75. You have hit the thumbs up. Appreciate that a lot. We'll cue the giveaway here shortly for the $50 or $100 GG ticket. Tweet going up on my Twitter, Jeff Gross Poker. That will be a $50 cash giveaway here very shortly. And we are going to also have, what else? The hands up. That's still eligible to guess the exact hand for the winning hand today. King 7 has a lot of board. Bert Stevens, look at that. Folds the 10 high flush draw on the turn. Not interested on a paired board, drawing to a 10 high flush draw. Nice discipline there. Not everyone's going to fold that. He was in bad shape. And he is.
Would you ever go all in with King 7 there on the turn, just in case you disconnect?
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, he's got 38-second chess clock, and he's got.
And he keeps disconnecting. So like when you make a big hand, like I don't know, it could cross my mind that I'm going to like bet here and then disconnect. And then all of a sudden you'll lose a shit ton of chips, you know?
I'm sure he's definitely playing through some scenarios in his head right now. For sure. It could get uncomfortable, especially if he's his clock down to 38 seconds. No one else really that short. David actually had 2 minutes, and some of these players did expend some clock to the benefit of the player who was disconnected again. Good sportsmanship, always nice to see. You see that at this level, though, right? I think that you're on the bright lights. You got the final table. You don't want to be the guy like trying to angle, shoot. So I think combination of things. But here he's stepping in, King 10 off, betting into no path situation. 5s love the flop. 10s like the flop. 5s got a lot going on here. David Yan, I wonder, does he just call, or could he get aggressive here with sort of a great semi-bluff hand? He also, I guess, could have some sets, 3s, 4s, deuces even with this particular action. He could have, 5-6 suited. He could have ace-5 suited, and he is going to raise. Makes sense. Nice hand. Very nice. Jack. Wow, look at these hands. Ace-7, Jack 10 suited, Ace-King suited, and King-Queen suited. This looks like a collision 9-handed. As it stands, we have got a 5-handed, 4 pretty reasonable hands. Ace-7 going to open, and David certainly is going to want to play. Although Wayland just going to get out of the way based on how he plays. It's probably going to be a pretty sizable bet here from our chip player. 29-second on the chess clock. Keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just going to go 3-bet and then fold.
Is it ever just a shove, as you mentioned? Maybe this is a spot where you're like, all right, he's got 1.7. Do I want to really put 640 up? And no, he's stable. He feels stable on the internet. Going to pick it up. Shaping up for a heads up between David and our current chip leader, which is Edwina. And there's that 7s again. This time Wade knows what to do with that. He's been so patient. I would like to see him open up a few shoves, Matt, with a little wider range. I think he's going to get a lot of credit for some decent size folds with modest hands. Based on I know you just saw the intros you said you didn't get to watch the entire show yet. You liked it for the Game of Gold, the GG show on with the program. Give me. I mean, I have in my mind some clear favorites based on the format. But who do you feel? Anyone? If you had to pick 2 or 3, just randomly without knowing much. But I don't know all the. You don't even.
I don't know. I mean, trying to remember who was there. Charlie Carroll, Daniel,
Maria Ho, David Williams. Kevin Martin, who won Big Brother. I think he's got to be like the favorite just from a game perspective of like playing a similar type game. He's got to be at least have a pretty good idea of how to like the team dynamic and how to sort of position himself. But yeah, I think he's one of the favorites.
I don't know.
I would guess I would say him probably. E8 suited and 9-10 suited, gonna get the gut shot, force the fold. Maria Ho, actually, she's been on Amazing Race and some other shows as well, right? She's done some like these type of shows.
I love the poker reality show Connections. I think there's a lot of people that have done them. It's kind of funny to me.
Yeah.
Ronnie Barta and Garrett, I guess, Adelstein. Wasn't JRB on Survivor? Or am I making that up?
Yeah, JRB was Survivor. Garrett was on Survivor, right?
Yeah.
You said that, and then who else? Yeah, I think there's been a fair amount. There's been a fair amount of reality poker stuff from Tiffany, Michelle, Maria. It was an amazing race, but yeah, it is fun. It is cool. And man, is Bert's snap folding here? He gets out of the way, just going into a 5-handed battle right now as we see a couple aces in the small blind, big blind here. 20 seconds on the shot clock. I mean, he's just going to, for reality is, it's going to be hitting that 0 most likely here shortly.
Oh, this is going to get a little funky.
Yep, both players.
Limp pot, blind versus blind.
Wow, ace-6, it can play here. Pretty hard to do.
I feel like it's going to chop. I don't know why. Like be a deuce on the river.
Yeah, it usually will. These two holdings, but in the deuce and the 4 under. I mean, I guess now the 5 brings in a wheel for our friend. If that were to come, a 3 obviously also puts him in the lead, and then there are some chop spots, but they're certainly going to go just check call, I guess, from David. And there it is, the 4.
I had a feeling.
You were spot on here as a chop, check. Each player, no harm, no foul. Tim Duncan with a under the gun queen 9 suited, as we see him on 18 blinds. There's at 50, 100 level, so a little easier to see how many big blinds everyone has. We are getting towards the point where we're going to do the giveaways, and we are going to get that tweet out there. Late on that. Sorry, Matt. And the daylight savings threw me off. I want to say I was warned. I don't feel like I knew it was daylight savings. I did know that. And then what happened was, though, there was a show last week that got canceled that couldn't go on. So that was, and then kind of forgot about the daylight savings. And then yeah, I don't think I saw the message for it. So anyway, we're here with you 1:45 Eastern on Tuesdays. Mario Masbach is going to be your guest next week. Should be very fun to get to talk and catch up with him. He's on a serious heater, developing what we were saying. Maybe one of those. I would only call it 4 or 5. I think there have been like noticeable 6 heaters in poker, maybe a few more, but 4 or 5. He's developing one of those right now. A little early to say that, but he's been on a tear. And I like the mystery guest. We do mystery hands. Do a mystery guest coming up. Okay. Neither player loves the flop ace jack, a little more maneuverability. Got the gut shot, the over, and did open, so it does go ahead and attack that board, and it is off to the races. Wayland getting shorter on 11 blinds. Tim Duncan, king 4. These are tough. These like 10 to 15, 18 blind spots. ICM, king high. You're actually behind here, but folding doesn't feel right. Raising, do you raise? Do you limp? You have all options.
Really. Probably, I don't know. Maybe at that stack depth, 15 bigs. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably limp. But you're inviting Bert to raise if you limp, so.
Yeah, tricky one. Yeah, definitely player dependent.
I mean, it's just hard for Tim because he's got these 2 robots on his left who play perfect.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, you know they're not giving anything away.
Right.
It makes it less appetizing to attack. But yeah, king 4 does fold, and now here we go. Ace 5 and king queen. David, definitely a jam spot here. Can force some folds with the thing. Also, I mean, she's just got the best hand. It's a great hand. And ace 5, this is an uncomfortable one. Maybe better to shove than min raise fold there. Also a tough hand to play, but as it turns out, nice capitalization from David, and Tim is down to 13 blinds. And I think, let's see, I'm trying to, this tweet, did it get out? Oh, here we go. I think it did. Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah, Tim even opening with ace 5 in that spot was tough because, for ICM, it might even be a fold on the button.
Yeah, ace jack suited here. Nice looking hand, 5-handed. Difficult hand to play under the gun, 9-handed, 8-handed, or 5-handed. Kind of feeling very good about it. As we will go to a King 4 suited versus Queen 10. 10 blinds, 11 blinds, Queen 10 off. I mean, start getting like, man, do you want to be the first in? You just rip it, get it through so often. It's a big pickup, but he does fold. And David, demanding the respect, shows a king of diamonds. He is your chip leader currently, 5.1 million. And Tim and Wayland sort of getting a little short, Matt. They've had a few opportunities to play or maybe raise or shove, and they've passed, and they're sort of getting in that danger zone as Bert's still winning a battle. And David actually, king jack off. You could see a 3-bet here. You could see a flat. You could see a fold possibly, I guess, as played, does just call. And the interesting part about the flat there, the king jack off, if a heart were to come, it's like they're sort of weighted towards more suited hands there, right? Like low middle pairs, low pairs,
Right.
and suited Broadway. So if a heart does come, and he could definitely start attacking as well. And now with the check back, gonna realize that his opponent has some showdown, but he is also just going for the pot. He really executes the overbet well. Someone you see that does go in. He's got the Australian flag similar to Damo that loves to play with sizings and go a little bit outside the normal box of bet sizings. And here, though, with the
This is a crazy spot to shove. Like he could put him to the test here because there's 2 shorter stacks, but he also,
I think he
there
goes for it anyway. Bert can't fold this. No, I don't see how he cannot fold the 2 pair. But I think would have preferred to see like a heart or even shoving, if a heart had come. But nice hand from Bert. And what a card though, right? If he doesn't hit the 5, it's going to be difficult. He gets the 2 pair there and just gets the call. And the other guys are saying sick. Yeah, that could have been a ladder for sure for the other guys. As we go 5-handed, we saw so many premiums, aces, queens, kings so far, and then now 5-handed not getting much action. I think the tweet is out. Let me get the link for you guys. It is there. I'm gonna pin it on my Twitter. Matt, you're eligible for the 52. Don't worry if you want to get there. There's multiple giveaways, Matt. You might as well get a little equity on the thing as well. Your dinner bet's actually looking a little. Thinking how you're doing on the dinner bet. You got the Tedwina.
I've got Tedwina, I've got Bert, and I got Duncan. Right?
Yeah, I think you do, don't you? Did you get Bert? You did get Bert. Yeah, you did. You said that's right. I think you took him. You sacrificed even little chips. His position, you grabbed him.
Yeah, now he's chip leader, so sometimes
Where's your go-to dinner spot in Vegas or LA? Where are we going if you win?
I found the best restaurant I've eaten at in a long time at the Resorts World this week. Brezza. It's an Italian place.
Yeah.
I had 2 meals there that were insanely delicious. So I'd be happy to go back there.
All right, we can do that. Ace Jack, Ace 5. It's another spot. Possible chop. It's been a lot of chops, a lot of survival, but Wayland's going to be calling in a favor here if he can stay in the game, and it is a 6, not enough, and we are 4-handed. Going to cue the giveaway as well here for you boys and girls in a second. I'll wait a little bit because it's a little deeper. Some of the 3-handed, we don't need to panic. Hit that in. We'll get the keyword. Hit that thumbs up. You're going to get that as well as we see a few suited hands. Ace 3, Ace 6. Wow, look at the shove here for a good bit of chips. And Ace 6 suited, I mean, it's close. Not quite enough for that amount of chips, especially with Tim short, but David definitely not afraid either. That would be a pretty big call. Oh my goodness. I am shocked. that he calls off here. Again, going to see chops, but we also going to see flushes, sixes, or threes. There's a 6, and he is in a very, very nice spot all of a sudden. Running cold is for sure the case. That is a big moment for David, looking to get another GG Million title on his resume and extend his GG Million ranking leaderboard. 6 million now, and Bert can't believe it. 3 million, and Tim saw a possible opportunity there for a pay jump. Pretty. If you're Tim, you're thrilled just to get that action, that there was an all in and a call with those type of equities there. So unlucky for him. Tweet is out. We're going to do the keyword in a second, and good luck to everyone today. Hands up, still there, still eligible to guess the winning hand. I think I said 6 of hearts, 6 of diamonds. I forget what you said. I did put mine in. You got to go to the link. You got to submit it if you want to be eligible. Can't just say it in the chat, but a lot of giveaways for you guys. Sorry for the delay today. And we are, oh, nice hand. That gets 7s, short stacked, small blind, big blind. And how many blinds is it? Yeah, just a shove, right? Jack 9, Bert, not going to call it off. Giveaway work. Well, all you gotta do is just go to my Twitter, Jeff Gross Poker. It's pinned. There's Matt Salsberg on there, and you can hit the retweet, comment, and good luck for 50 cash. Then the keyword I'll give in a few minutes. That'll be either 50 or 100, depending if Matt's players win or mine. So I think Matt's got the lead right now and Chip slightly, pretty even though. We each have 2. Or wait, you have Duncan? No, you do have Duncan. I thought you said you liked him because of the name. I thought you got him the basketball name.
Yeah. I do have Duncan, yeah.
All right, so 3 versus 1. You got. I got the reigning the leader though. It's 3 on the 6. You got you got a little lead. 6 million chips to like 7. It's close. No, 8. You have about 8 million, and I have about 6. So, and you got 3 players. So I like your chances as King 6 off does shove it in. Tim needs a little bit of help if he wants to stay in the game. We'll be on the podium soon. If not, he needs to get dealt in. David with the chip lead 10-9 off is going to crank it here. Goes for an open, and Bert with a nice suited ace in the big blind. Definitely going to be playing, maybe 3-betting. All of it, the whole enchilada. No fear, man. This is what we're talking about, Matt. The no fear. He wins 2.7 million. He's like, all right, well, if I lose that pay jump for a spot, somehow I get called, like not the end of the world, but like that's the right play. I'm gonna put the pressure. I'm gonna chip up there. I'm not gonna play scared. I'm just gonna rip it. And here he just calls, and David closing the action. We'll take a look with the 3-6 suited and middle set for Bert. Gotta love that.
I mean, must be nice.
It's hard to make a set. It is hard to make a pair and hold them.
Hard to get aces multiple times at final tables and queens and sets. So, that's what you need.
Energy's high out there. He's living his best life. No one gonna improve. He was hoping someone would catch a top pair. So, and now on the river, he goes going for it. What is he? How could Ace Jack not value better? King Jack, right? So he is gonna check. Hope someone caught up. Maybe 9-10 makes the straight somewhere in there. Just got to get some free cards. I mean, David opened 9-10 off last hand, and look at this. He's gonna get a stab.
Well, he's gonna get a raise in his face.
Yeah, not gonna be winning this pot, of course. See what kind of sizing he goes to, about 1 million, a little more. Goes big, instant fold. No time wasting here. And 5 seconds on the chess clock there for the Mexico flag. Hedwina. 4s. I'm doing some forced fasting today. That hour time clock caught me off. I didn't get to eat. I didn't have anything, and then I just haven't eaten stuff. You
just read my mind. I tried to take a sip of my tea. I'm out of tea. I haven't eaten anything today. I'm like, okay, this is good because I've definitely been overeating as of late. So I can try to get a kickstart into some intermittent fasting.
All right, Jack 6 suited, Ace 8, and there's a Jack. We could be 3-handed. Has to fade just the river. We did see Tim smoke an ace once today for life, and he will not be doing that twice. Good games all around. Sportsmanship high today. Got to say that amongst players. 3 Titans going to battle here now. All healthy. Good game to Tim Duncan. Nice score. 4th place. He is out the door, and we will cue the giveaway in a second for the $50 or $100 GG ticket. Last time I'm going to say it. Jeff Gross Poker tweet, $50 cash pinned. Good luck, and good luck on the hands up promo, which is available. So that's it. Let's see who's going to win. Who do you feel? I mean, you're sticking with your guys, right? You got Bert versus David versus our unknown, and you have 2 of the 3. You got about 9 million to 5 million.
I mean, you've got a guy who's keeps shipping these millions. So I feel like even though I have 2 guys, I think you're in good shape. So
yeah, it seems you're definitely a favorite, but it's not over. It's still a good sweat. It's a good sweat. We're gonna queue it up here. Let me get the key. Let me just queue it up. The keyword gonna be, let's do Bahamas, Matt, and then underscore your GGPoker user. You put your GGPoker username, insert that. That's going to be for the $50 or $100 ticket. Matt, I know you might not make the Bahamas, it's far, but there is the GG WSOP starting December 3rd to the 14th. I'm going to win a bracelet. It's about a 15-minute flight from where I am. I'm going to be there. I know you'll probably hit the West Coast swing, but either way, we're going to make that the keyword. Bahamas.
If they want to send me a package, I won't refuse it. But
you won't say no? All right, we can talk about that. We can put it out there. I mean, I might know a guy that knows a guy that has some packages available for something. We could call one in. We could do. How about this? We'll do a live podcast there if you get a package. You up for that?
Sure.
All right, we'll throw that in for the deal. Matt Poker, GGPoker username. That's going out now for your $50 or $100 giveaway info above. I got that. Wrote in the chat here. Giveaway info above. That is in the YouTube chat. Good luck, everyone. Giveaways are all out. We did them all. We did it all. Good luck. That's how you do it. Do it. Bahamas Matt space your GGPoker username. That is the giveaway info. Ace 4 8 9 8 9 9 makes a pair. Bert doesn't go for the value, which hey, can't blame him. Scary board. Happy to win the pot up to 5 million. He is tied for the chip lead essentially. And our guy who is big chip leader, I mean, doing well, right? To be third, he had some disconnect issues. He's in third with 9 left. That's when you have that big a lead. You got to get to the final 3. He's done that now, but his work cut out for him. 2 very experienced players that are in peak form that he is battling with today if he wants to get a title. And Bert, I was trying to see if Bert, he has the WSOP online for 2.7 million, but does he have a GGMillion title? Yes, he does in season 1.
He's got to have a title.
Season 2 and season 1. So he has won. He's trying to kick off a win a season if he can hit his quota. He's done it twice. This is season 2023, episode 30. He's looking for his first title this season, 3rd overall. David Yan has 3 in this season, 1 in season 2. So he has 4 titles looking for his 5th. And as we mentioned, Tedwina, however you want to pronounce it, does not have a title yet. So see a new winner or a repeat.
What a turn card for David here. Good check raise in this spot sometimes, but still has the best hand.
Yeah, a lot of board coverage there. Not worried about the ace. Really safe spot for him. He is in the lead. He's got the check mark on the hand. Going to check it over. And ace 10 with no time bank now. Officially no time bank. Going to check it over. All players pretty low on the chess clock. 2 minutes, 1 minute, and no limit. No time. Ooh, Jack 6, 9, 10. Both players, a little something going on here. David going to go ahead and bet. Protect against some gut shots and that over. It's Jin. We saw Bert lead the board pair, bottom pair. It's a little different situation than last time, but he is. Let's see if he goes for a lead over here. There it is. He likes the lead turn paired, Matt. Note to self if you're playing with Giraffe.
Yeah.
And look at the balance, though. We saw him with the trip 6s, and then here gets to do it with the bluff. So Jungle Man says, bet your gutters. Also a contestant on Game of Gold. GG Poker Show reality. He
Jungle Man's the best.
He really is.
He's a different species.
Actually, he messaged me the other day out of nowhere. He is the most special guy I know. He just literally says, I don't talk to him in 3 weeks or a month. Actually, he says, "Hey, where are you these days?" I respond, I say where I am, and then I send him a minute voice note, and then I don't hear back. Like out of nowhere for like a month, just says hi, and then just doesn't. I give him like a real nice like, "Hey, what's going on? What are you up to?" This and that, and then it's just like crickets. I just you know, I mean, that mind, Matt, what would that, you could do a reality show or a real show scripted on Jungle, the thoughts of Jungle. Can you imagine?
I know.
You can't, right? It would be a bestseller.
He should definitely write a memoir or some kind of biopic. Where are you living? In Florida?
Yeah. I live in Key Biscayne. It's like just south of Brickell.
Yeah.
And you've been in the same spot for a lot, like how long have you been there?
I mean, I'm in LA. I've moved around a little bit, but I'm still in. Yeah.
All right. 10s and 4-7. So the set gets the boat 4 connects. So hard to make a pair, as we know. Probably going to be interested to see that one. Yeah. Bert does get it. It's very close to call. I don't know how we're going to separate these guys. Something's got to give. Maybe a cooler, maybe a hero call, maybe a big bluff. As they are tangoing, the pay jumps are nice, locked up.
Oh, this could be a little trouble here.
Ooh.
This could be an all-in, yeah.
Whoa, David.
I felt
David,
that.
just the full enchilada, and he is going to need runner. WTF is right. That is one of the ones you don't want to see. The kings or the aces or the queens, which you block, and he has it. And that is now shifting back to the chip leader. What a moment for him now, and gotta love it. Everyone thinking, maybe we shouldn't have been so sporting and let this guy hang around this much and not punish him at all. Here he is back in the chip lead, 6 million. Double David and Bert. You are in great shape right now. I got to say that, though. You got like 10 and a half, 11 million to 3 million. I'm going to check the menu out of this resorts place, what we're going to be getting and who we're doing. I don't know if he said plus ones with the dinner, what the minute, what's going on there, but it's looking good for you. I've seen it all, though. I've seen the swings. It's never over. It's never quite over.
Second nuts here, so it's always nice.
That does feel good. You already had the queen. Now you got against 5-8, and it is a kind of a small bet for the strength of the hand. Bert, though, with would be a superhero call. Don't think we'll make it, but the deuce would have been the wheel. David showing. Bert looking for a one-time, and we could have a new GGMillion champion. The chip leader 3-handed. It has not won a title. The other players have won 4 and 2, respectively. David going for his 4th of the season, which is wild. He has 4 final tables, 3 wins this season. He is your number 1 GGMillion ranking leaderboard. And then he finds a 10 there on the river. That's a pretty convenient 10.
He still lives in Australia, you know?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Like I said, David, if you are watching LO, you might just be on we might have to have a backup set for you because you just make a lot of final tables, but I'd love to have you on the show and pick your brain as the leader of the GGMillion right now. And I know Bert's on a world tour, man. It's trying to get him on again to come on here. Hopefully he can pop back on. But same thing. I've seen him at like 2 or 3 in a row. I think maybe 3 of 4 or 2 of 4 final tables here. So these guys are hard to plan when they're like battling and making a lot of these final tables. 7-5, ace-7. Ace-7 still in the lead. You watch, what poker do you watch? If you get to watch any, or do you love playing? You don't really do.
Yeah, no, I watch a fair bit, I would say. I watch high stakes poker on, when those come out, even though, they're pretty quick. They're only like 40 minutes or something. And then I just sort of, I guess, what else? World Series streams, certain live stream FTs, things like that I'll watch.
Yeah.
I don't watch like the cash games anymore much. I find them to be a little circus-like, the LA cash game shows like at Hustler. Since the Robbie incident with Garrett, I would watch it before because I felt like it was a little more nuanced. I don't know. Some of the characters that they have on now are so brash and abrasive that it's kind of, I don't know. It's a little tilting to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched much, honestly, of those ones, so I don't know. Can't speak on that. It makes sense, though. I could see how that could shift a bit. It does seem a bit more. Seems like there's been a bit of a cultural, like a shift in how it's
Yeah.
done and the type of people, just from like the lineups I see, at least. I haven't. I
Yeah,
catch
exactly.
clips and
Like
stuff.
the lineups are sort of ridiculous, and I'm like, you know, Nick Airball's on every broadcast, and uh, I'm not really sure how or why, but
He's one I can't figure out. I mean, I haven't really watched him play much. I know the Berkey thing, the challenge. I just don't really know much about where he, like, any of his, how, like, anything about him really, like how he played or like what his background is or where he came from. I do. Yeah, he seems like he's in. It's amazing. Like that guy literally seems like he's in every show, right?
everything. Him
He's
and
in
Eric
Vegas. He's in
Person.
LA. It's like he's just
Yeah,
fighting.
I know.
But I mean, to be fair, someone was saying this. We were just talking about it with characters in poker. It's like it's kind of, you got to have like person. You also do not want to just sit and watch people not talk and just like
No,
play.
I think you need a balance. I think you need, your charismatic, types. I think you need your villains. I think you need your wizards.
Right.
You know, like I think Rick Solomon's like really fun to watch because he's kind of embodies like everything in terms of, being a crusher, being a,
Yeah.
a character. But he doesn't do that many streams because he doesn't have to.
Right. I mean, I'm biased, but I think, my number one choice, and I think a lot of people enjoy watching Antonio Esfandiari. I mean, he's one of my
Yeah.
best friends, but he's got like the, the gamble, the fun, the bullshit, like the like kind of, he's not a GTO guy, but he really, I feel like he's just
Yeah,
like a
for
great live player. You know what I mean? He's got that, like, he brings fun to the table. He gets people out of their element. He kind of mixes between pro and amateur vibes, but he's obviously very accomplished and knows what he's doing. But he always puts together good lineups, has a good mix of people he knows. It's good. I think he does a great job.
Yeah, he's great. And Phil Lock too is also still fun
Yeah,
to
of course. Well, Phil's a
watch.
treat. I mean, that's just a, that's now
I
we're
played.
getting greedy. Phil Lock streams are just, he's that Premier League stuff was with the goggles and the,
Yeah.
he's got it all, man. JT too, of course. Tilly's so fun to watch and play.
Yeah, she's the best. She's like the loveliest. And
yeah,
I played the tournament with Phil a few weeks ago. I hadn't seen him in a while, but it was nice to be on the same table as him.
Yeah, I enjoy time with Phil's fun. There are some great characters though. Like, that is one thing about poker. It really is. It's just like they're characters. The people are genuinely characters. Yeah, I mean, like Negreanu, Helmu too. They really do a good job of like, they have everyone on their toes. People are just kind of like, I feel like they bring emotion out of people. They get people out of their comfort zone and sort of yeah. Those guys have been around forever doing it, so it's fun. This is getting interesting with the time. All players under a minute in the clock. 1-0. You got ace 8 and queen king suited, and this is actually, this is just gonna go all in call. King queen suited, big hand, actually behind slightly, but Bert, he's the WSOP online champ, and he is running. I wouldn't bet against king queen suited for him.
Well,
I might have jinxed him a little, but hey, there's still a river, 5 outs with 1 to come. Not going to be it. Bert, what a showing. Podium again, and now it is down to 2. You got a storybook finish here. Good game. Nice playing from him today as we see a look at the payouts as what they're battling for. 232, 297, 65K and change available. No deal making at the GG Million as we see this, and this is a battle. Two great players. We said they were playing awesome all day.
Yeah.
Excuse me. All right. Well, this is what we want. What else do you want? Dinner sweat, 50 or 100 for the audience sweat. You got to hit the thumbs up to be eligible, but that is the keyword in the chat. Bahamas, space Matt, space your GGPoker username, and 50, all kinds of action here. Dinner on the line, 50 or 100 for the audience on the line. This is all you can ask for. Little lead for you.
Yeah, but you got the reigning champion or, whatever, the GG's killer, so. I've got
We got
some.
a 2 million pot. We got a ball game. 8 million to about 6 million. This is too close to call, Matt. I'm nervous for everyone involved at home watching 50 or 100. I see the thumbs ups going up. I hope everyone enjoying. Let us know where you're watching from. Matt's in California. I'm in Florida. And let us know where you're enjoying this from. And I hope you get to check out Game of Gold. Type a 1 in the chat if you have seen Game of Gold and you enjoy it. Because I got to say, I'm looking forward to watching that. I think, is there 3 episodes out now or 2 for sure, right? I saw 1. I've seen some other trailers or teasers. Let me look. Can't wait to watch that once. Let me see. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Yeah, I think it might actually be 3. Episode. Oh, it's a trailer. Episode 2. Yeah, 3 episodes are out. Or no, premieres on Friday. Okay, so yeah, the second one is out. I'm gonna put that on the side. Get that. Poker's kind of nice to watch too. While you're like checking emails or doing stuff or have it on the side. You can kind of just
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like background noise.
Yep. Episode 3 tomorrow. Yeah, I see it queued up. The premiere. That's cool. Very cool. Everyone's enjoying it. I haven't seen anyone not. Okay, Frederick didn't like it, but most people out there saying they liked it. A lot of ones in the chat. I think they are. They just kind of nailed it. Pretty sure. Yeah, I hope there's like. I love it's cool the poker sit and go and they like suspense and it does feel intense. I hope there's actually kind of more challenges and stuff, or like stuff that's not just poker, which I think it is. It's a mix, I believe.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to the point where I understand exactly what it is, but.
I mean, okay, there you go. See that 5-second enacted there. 8's gonna turn hand into a bluff with the having 8 high, and Queen 9 does snuff it out. Really nice hand from David. He is evening it out. I think what happens is like there's individual and team events, challenges, poker, whatever, and then basically at the end you get your chips into like a big, like the more coins you get, the bigger stack you have when you play out for the win, I believe. Is like the roughly how it works. So like you collect coins and then you get to play those in big blinds at the end to like win it. And it's 456,000 for first. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
Pots are getting big here. Blinds are big. This could definitely be over and not long. Going to choose a winner for the giveaway here very shortly and choose a tweet winner here shortly. And 7's got the best hand. Finding a nice bet here.
What's the progressive? How much is it?
Or which? Oh, for the last hand, if you get it.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't see the total right now. I mean, it progresses every week, and it's I don't know. I'm not sure the exact amount right now. I know the jackpot did hit before, so it's not probably huge because someone got it like maybe a month or 2 ago, but it's something, It's not. It's a little EV. It's a little something.
It's fun.
Yeah. That's pretty hard. I don't know the odds of getting it. I guess you could rule out certain hands, the more likelihood or whatever, but it's happened once in like 40 weeks, I think I've seen.
I mean, it's amazing it's happened at all. Exact 2 cards.
Yeah, that's true. But then again, it depends. Yeah, it depends how many people are coming in and plugging in the guests each week. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're right. I guess it still is an underdog for maybe a year. And 8, 5, 7, 2 overs to the 7. It does hit. The 8 comes in. David's going to like that card. Although, again, heads up, hard to make pairs. Check back. See if he puts a little value out here. After the check on the turn, he can kind of figure out not queen likely for his opponent. So, and Ted Ween up to 9 million, but now a little bit of a important pot, 5 million. The blinds are big, as you see, 71-40. A little harder to do the big blinds here. What are your thoughts on the limping strategy? I see it change a lot with like how deep to players to limp and heads up. What's your sort of, you won a WPD title when you did that in Paris. What was your like during that match when you're covering? Did you feel you were more assertive and like raising or 2.5ing? Were you limping?
I wasn't covering for long actually. I went in as a dog and then I was sort of getting run over a little bit and then I sucked out and then in one spot to stay alive, and then I won another pot, and then he kind of, I think, got tilted that I, got there a couple times heads up, and then I did limp with queens heads up, and he just stuck it in with queen 10 for a lot of chips, actually. So I was in really good shape. So it was kind of the limping in that moment, I think, was, worked out to my favor for sure.
Oh wow, this is problematic for your guy here. He's got the king 5 suited comes through for David. He's one of the worst hands he can have, and he hit the spade. So there it is. That is going to get snapped off. And David Yan, ladies and gentlemen, has got a big lead. And man, you got to believe like this guy is just dangerous. He is an absolute crusher, and he is in a very good position now. And there's a limp. The queen 6 off, 6 deuce going to go for the raise. We're just sort of talking about this dynamic. You can see the architecture. It's crazy to make that play there and just be right. You just pick it up, all this dead money, and he has got a plan, and he has got a pair again.
Yeah, I do like a limping strategy heads up, especially if you're deep. I don't know. I feel like I like to play post flop poker and sort of evaluate decisions that way.
Wow, he calls.
Wow, he's getting sticky here.
I mean, this is a problem. I mean, he has chipped him down. 10's just gonna pick him up. And Matt, I haven't really looked at my options. I mean, I do a lot of shows here, so I have a lot of dinner. I have a pretty elaborate dinner plan for my guests.
What do you like? What's your dinner place?
I mean, it varies. I'm running out. My top, I can't go the same place every time. At some point, I've done a lot of these, but I mean, if we're talking Vegas, I like Kabuto. I like sushi. Do you like sushi, Japanese stuff, or not really?
Not my favorite, but it's okay. I can
listen. I'll let you choose the genre. If I win, I'll let you at least choose that. I'm not going to just double tax. I'm not going to invite you on a show, take you to a place you don't like, and make you pay for it. That seems like that's a lot.
All right, sandwiches.
Sandwiches. Oh, like Chick-fil-A type of In-N-Out. All right, we could keep it friendly.
No, I'm kidding. But that's it. If you give me rope,
I'm giving you genre. I'll give you genre.
Yeah, give me genre.
I give you like a pretty broad regional world thing. And I David, man, I'll tell you what. I don't want to say I played with him once. Actually, I remember the first time I played with him. It was at Kings. I was there for I forget WSOP or something years ago, and I remember I never played with him. I didn't know much about his game, and like he was in there doing crazy stuff and just felt dangerous. You know what I mean? Like I could just tell I was like, this guy's tough, and here he is. He's just. His record is scary. I had to get a stat check on him, and I think it's right. I think it's just right. All right, I'm selecting the winner as we speak. Congrats to it is Byron Gocklany in U1. Let's see, it's either gonna could be here. Oh no, King 10, taxi cab each. We're going to see in a second. So that is a chop. 50-50. And it's going to be either $50 or $100. So congrats to you, my friend. I just wrote it there. Appreciate you guys, everyone hitting the thumbs up and participating. There's the Robbie Jack 4. I mean, the Jack 4, the Club GG uses that as the hand for the example. So I don't know. I mean, it's called. I actually had a good podcast with her. She came on and recently, not like right after the inside. I talked to her maybe a couple months ago, and she then came on and was a guest on here as well. So I don't know. We'll see. I think innocent until proven guilty. And I the bounty that was a telling thing to me that there was like a massive bounty Bill Perkins put out. Joey, they were kind of conducting and no one really came forward on anything. And I don't know, man, it's a bizarre one. I got to say that whole thing is so bizarre. It was just a super bizarre to give the money back. Like the whole thing, man, it was a wild thing. I don't know if we'll see anything more wild possible, I guess, but it was like that whole situation that thing just kind of got brushed under the rug too. I guess he was playing in some local tournament, a month ago, like in the last year. I mean, that was a weird one.
Wait, which one?
The Apostle.
Oh, Apostle, yeah.
California too, right? Upstate. That was upstate. Scream. But all right, Deuces Jack 5. All right, he's not going away. It's not over. The blinds are big. One double, or you're just writing David now. Little reconnection. Little wow. Time shot clock. This is intense. I will say I've been to Australia and the internet wasn't great when I was there a while ago. I don't know if they fixed it, but Australia, New Zealand wasn't good.
Did you go to Aussie Millions?
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
A long time ago. I think I only went twice. I went once for the Aussie Millions, once for the WSOP Europe.
Gotcha.
Or WSOP Asia. Did you ever hit that one?
Not Asia, no, but I've been to Aussie Millions twice, and that was probably my favorite venue. Or favorite trip.
Yeah, very cool. Nice to tennis thing going there too, and it's like I love that city. Melbourne's sick.
So super sick, yeah.
Great city. I think that I'd say Istanbul, Melbourne, and Montreal are my favorite kind of destination spots.
Montreal I grew up in, so it's my least favorite, but
fair enough. Wow, look at the shove with Jacks here. And he calls that you got the champ. He rips it in with Jacks for value. I mean, is this guy?
Wow.
I don't want him at the table. I want him as a guest. David Yan, I'm going to try to get a hold of you, man. You are a absolute monster. Well played. Another title going there. What an absolute epic performance. Kind of stayed under the radar and then got hot and just took over down the stretch. So a very interesting day, Matt. Any takeaways today? I appreciate you coming on. I had a lot of fun. And tell me, what do you think? What was your recap of today?
My recap is, avoid David Yan at the tables if you can.
That's for sure.
He's super wizard. Same thing with Bert. No, it was an entertaining final table, I think. And thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Awesome. I'm going to find a dinner spot for us. Congrats to the winners. I'm also going to look at a package for you. We can do a podcast package for Matt. We're going to talk to Gigi. I'm going to put a few messages out right now. And next week we'll be on with Mario Masbach and have an amazing show. Again, 1:45 Eastern Daylight Savings. That has been adjusted. So mark that down. Caught myself off and almost Matt. So again, appreciate the time. Appreciate everything. And I'll let you know about a dinner place and a package, hopefully for the Bahamas here in December.
All right, cool.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy. All right.
Thanks, everyone.